Hey, hi all. Okay, so I see some people are joining. So yeah, let's start. Hi everyone, myself Firdaus Ahmed, and I'm going to conducting the React Bootcamp session today. We'll be talking about the features, the advantage, and implementation. So we'll be taking up a really good example of building an e-commerce platform with React.js, and we will try to understand what are the various tools that will make this development easy and quick. So using this framework, how you could actually leverage all the advanced kind of technologies and skills that's there, and that will help you to build a high performance, robust application. Okay, and inshallah we'll be talking about more concepts with respect to overall UI implementation. What are the core technologies and skills that you need to grasp before you jump on to working on a advanced framework, and uh, or maybe working as a front-end developer in general. So to begin with, I just want to let you guys know. So we have disabled chat. Chat is enabled now for question and answer sessions. I would request everyone to ask appropriate questions, and try to be also interactive on chats. So that will help me to understand whether you are grasping whatever I'm trying to communicate. And apart from that, you could WhatsApp us also. So I'm keeping a watch on those questions as well, so that if there are any queries, questions, doubts, so we could take it ahead, right, within the bootcamp itself. So okay, so let me begin. Okay, so and then yeah, we'll see more folks will join. Meanwhile, we will continue with the introduction. So let me share the screen. I'll give a brief introduction about Marvel Minds, and some introduction about myself also. Like, and then inshallah we'll be taking it to the implementation level, and I'll tell you the agenda, like what we are going to do into this next 1.5 hour. I'll try to wrap it up as early as possible, because certainly 1.5 hour is not that much time, but certainly to stay on a desk and then stay concentrated is again a challenge, right? So to make it all interactive and a good experience, I would like to keep it on the point. So before I begin, I just want to know from every one of you, whosoever is listening. So tell me about your background regarding UI, and are you guys from having some exposure to or you have some experience working on React.js, or is it like you are new to UI? You want to learn from the basics, learn about the front end technologies. So uh, just a simple yes or no question. So if you are advanced level, React, you want to learn more, try to understand its how to use different tools and scalability and all, or you are new to React, or maybe in front end overall. So just yes or no would help. That will let me understand what is the overall audience, and by what pace I should take it, right? Yes, for advanced React, I would say advanced React, but you have familiarity with React, right? So that would be a yes. If not, then that it would be a no. Yep. Please go ahead. Okay. Okay. Only 5 more people. let's stay interactive. Let's stay, please respond to the message so that like we will know that the session is going in the right direction, right? Okay, so I see most of you are new, so new to React or overall front end. So yeah, that's what the expectation is. Like what we are going to do, we are going to start from very basics. I'm going to give you the overall sense of what UI development is and how you could get started into the front end world and how you could build a front end technology app profile. Okay, and after that we will be also taking up the React implementation, some coding session, trying to understand how quick it is going to be and how helpful it's going to be, what are the various advantages that we can leverage. And for those who have some introduction to React, might be it will be a little bit slow, but certainly there are sufficient concepts that will help you to get started with kind of like an advanced application that you want to build. Okay, an enterprise application, whatever we are going to take it here. So to start with, let me give you a quick introduction about Marvel Minds. So Marvel Minds is a company that we started back in 2020. So we do have a software development company called Red Stack Labs. So which has in last 3 years, it has set some great milestones by releasing some global level SaaS platforms to the production level, like ROI Maxima is based in London, which is a hospitality domain analytical platform. Decision Facts based in California, which is a data engineering platform, and many other clients that we have worked in. We have built some products in-house in Red Stack Labs, like Upstore.cloud, which is again in production, released in Dubai, and other products like India Search and like Marvel Mind CRM for recruitment and consultation with the companies, so that are getting built in-house. Okay, so Marvel Minds, we started with an initiative that what we wanted to do, we wanted to train the young folks, the pass out candidates from different computer backgrounds, and we wanted to prepare these students for increasing competitive corporate careers. So that actually means like we want you guys to enable with those skill sets that will help you to grasp opportunities in the IT industry, like whatever the development and maybe skilled technical, non-technical jobs. So we could enable you guys with those skills and we could hire you. And slowly, once we have overall 25 plus employees in Red Stack Labs, and most of them like we have taken through this program. But we felt that there is certainly much bigger need for you guys to have a platform that will help you to get a direct consultation or job opportunities after you learn all these skill sets. Okay, so that way Marvel Minds has started an initiative. So if you go to marvelminds.in, you will see the first message for the companies who wants to recruit, who wants to hire interns. So that's our primary job. We want you to get directly connected with those companies. We have connections for the companies here in J&K and across nation. So many of our candidates are well off, doing their development jobs in Gurgaon, in Hyderabad, and all. We'll be talking about more by end of the program. Okay. So yeah, we have our head offices. We have some branch offices. I'm closely working with some uh, like uh, uh, development partners based in Pune and also like other states in India. So a quick introduction about myself, so that to set a right context, like what and how and why I am here. So myself, Firdaus Ahmed, I am founder and CTO of Red Stack Labs. And yeah, you see the names there, which I already talked about. These are internal projects that we have built, And then we have actually been working as an architect and software development solutions for multiple clients, global level SaaS companies. So if you see my journey, my portfolio, I started my journey back as like in 2012 as an intern, like and I joined Hewlett Packard Enterprises based in New Delhi for basic Java training. Okay, so that was back in 2020, like 2012, when I started that. And after like 10 or 12 years of experience, you will see I have been on various roles into the development field, from software engineer to senior software engineer to lead engineer in different companies. And luckily, I got a chance to visit multiple countries with respect to these companies. And then recently, I withdraw from Ideas Revenue Solutions, which is one of the world's biggest revenue management platforms. Okay, so it's I got released as enterprise architect, and currently I'm also doing like a consulting architect program for some startup companies like QASol.ai and more. So if you see my academic background, I have done my BTech from NIT Srinagar, and my MTech, I continued the like journey of learning. So that is one of the key things that you guys need to understand, is that you have to be student always. So in development, you have to keep yourself updated with the latest technologies and whatever is coming up, right? So MTech I did from BITS Planning. It was a work integrated learning program, and then I also did some diploma, like pursuing my MBA in data science. So that's like to keep myself on toes, to keep ourselves up to date, making sure like we are getting the advanced learnings and concepts. Okay, so that's what we are trying to bring to you. Like apart from academics, you need to learn these skills, and certainly like we are trying to give the best results possible based on the experience that we have and based on the requirements that we see, like what a company or a product needs overall. So let's get started with the React.js bootcamp, like that we have organized today. So I see we have already completed 10-15 minutes, but I'm going to quickly jump onto the implementation part, and then so that we will take maximum out of like value out of this session, right? So yeah, before we move on, I'm going to tell that we have a biggest surprise at the end of the program, so which is worth 5,000 rupees for the candidates who will watch it full. So you don't have to stay for that, just for that, but certainly you will see the value on the path. And stay tuned, and inshallah, by end of the program, you will get some really good offer for you guys. Okay, we'll be talking about that. So let's see, let's get started with React.js, and then I'll start talking about some tools that are there in UI technology and that will certainly help you, right? So that are good for you to learn and grasp. React.js is an open source JavaScript library. Okay, so many of us say that it's a framework, it's a library. That's kind of a theoretical discussion, but it's a framework, definitely yes, because a framework is something that will help you to build things quickly. Okay, and React.js has actually evolved over years, in last 6 to 7 years, to the extent that it is one of the most widely used frameworks in the IT industry for the like front end technologies. Companies like PayPal, Adobe, Apple, Twitter, even Facebook itself is completely 100% built with React. So, and Facebook is the actual developer of React JS platform. Then they made it open source. Open source mean like it is like you could access its code, you could validate what's happening inside it, how it is working, and certainly you could, if you want, you could do some improvements and you could request. So they are the maintainer. So you have to request to them that you want to you have fixed this bug and you want to include that into the React library or so. Okay, so once they approve, maybe like that's how open source platforms will evolve. So React allows developers to build, I would say, single page web applications so that can update and render in response to change of data without requiring a full page reload. Okay, so that actually means like in a single page application, so you see one page getting loaded, and then you will see a lot of components. So that could be rendered at the like asynchronously, and that will change the data, and you will see things popping up here and there onto the web page dynamically, and it does not need a reload or a refresh at the runtime. Okay, so all of this happens dynamically. So there are a lot of concepts involved how this works, and why was it challenging before, how did React make it possible. So all those things are there, right? And let me quickly tell you about what are the advantages of learning React and why specifically we have taken the React, because it's open source. Okay, so that like you will see a very big community and lot of people using Facebook. You do not have to pay for anything. Whenever you are building things on React, you do not have to pay for the library, and it's maintained by Facebook, which is one of the prime tech companies. So certainly there are values into it. So there, it has that strength and stability that is needed. If you want to like build your application in a particular technology, you don't want that technology to be outdated very soon, right? So certainly you want it to run for a like longer run, maybe next 10, 20 years, right? So that's what a Facebook looks like. It's going to stay, maybe in different forms, Meta and all, but certainly it's going to continue, right? And it does provide a very good performance. It's very easy to learn and implement. It provides a concept called virtual DOM. Okay, to understand this, you have to first understand what is DOM, right? So which improves the performance by limiting the amount of DOM manipulation. Okay, so how you want to manipulate the DOM and all. So to understand this better, I would like to like give you an intro about what is JavaScript and how does it perform, how does it work, and how does it get used, right? So JavaScript is uh, like it's like a language. Okay, it's actually a language that will help you to actually created to play with the DOM. Okay, so the main purpose of JavaScript when it was developed is to manipulation of the DOM. Okay, so if you see, if you have built some website, okay, so let's say I'll jump to this one. So let's say I have a website here. Okay, and this website is having, let's say, like you see a lot of files here. Okay, so React files and all those things, that JavaScript. So what does it do? So this tool is actually called the developers tool, and you see you could help this to control for your development. Okay, so this you can open with a shortcut F12 or maybe by inspect, and this is certainly going to be a very helpful like when you learn development and all. So I want to focus on to this section. Okay, so whenever you build a particular website, so all of this is actually built on these HTML tags. Okay, even these advanced frameworks like React and Angular and Vue, all of these actually convert that highly advanced syntax into this ES5 syntax, which is a version for the JavaScript. So, and the latest one is ES6. So it converts to that syntax using HTML5 elements and all, and then it actually loads a website into a browser. And if you see the overall browser is a very powerful software. It looks very basic, but it is certainly like having much more capabilities than we see as an end user. Like we are always like browsing, surfing, like clicking on a URL and reaching out to a website. So that's what we see, like what browser is capable to do. But there are a lot more things. Okay, it is managing all your DOM. So this is like the DOM structure, document object model. It's like a tree formation of these elements. Like tree, as in I'm saying that hierarchy of having a parent node and a child node, and all these tags are called the elements. And you see like lot of things getting changed at the runtime, right? And what actually enables it to be like, let's say to make it dynamic, okay, to change things at the runtime. Okay, So you see a lot of website, the content change at the runtime. You like, for example, take an example of a cricket base or something. Like you want to see for a like go for a like you're watching a match, you want to see the score. What do you have to do? You log into an application and keep a watch, right? You do not have to refresh it every time. So that was actually true in old days. But right now you see numbers are popping up immediately. You see new for every new ball, you see the new score is popping, right? And you don't have to refresh it. So what is actually happening? The JavaScript language is doing nothing but it is changing these numbers and this data. It is manipulating the DOM at the runtime. Okay, it's either introducing some new elements or it is changing the text and everything here. Okay, so that's what you see gets reflected and you can see it, right? So that's what the DOM, JavaScript was built for, to manipulation of the DOM. And browser has internally something called a V8 engine, which is actually a JavaScript execution engine. Okay, for every language. So maybe like for C programming, if you guys have done that, I'm expecting everyone from the computer science background. If not, but yeah, these things are very common. So certainly you have an introduction about these things. So if you have learned about C programming, right? So what do you do? It's a language where you could code, right? But to execute it, you need an environment. You need a compiler or something, right? So we download that software and we run it on top of it. Similarly, JavaScript is a language which needs a platform. Okay, it needs a basic environment where it could run. Okay, so browser is something which provides that capability. Okay, it provides you the capability of like running this JavaScript at the runtime with the help of V8, okay, execution engine. So that will help you to run the JavaScript. Okay, and that got evolved, that got reused. Okay, we will know how and why. So but yeah, Java, like your browsers has all these capabilities. And talking about browsers, so there is a very basic version of browser called Chromium. Okay, so which is free, like, okay. And it is that Chromium version is actually again open source, managed by multiple organizations. It is getting used into your Chrome browsers, into your Edge browsers nowadays. So that is one of the prime browsers that gets most widely used in the around the world, right? And there are more browsers like Safari and Firefox, which has similar and maybe some kind of additional or different functionalities there, right? But they do have their own execution, right? Okay, so yeah, fine. That's just absolutely fine. I'll try to like जहाँ पे भी मुझे लग रहा है कि that I have to uh, so certainly it's kind of that habitual. So switching a language is not that good, but I'll try my best. Okay, I'll try to keep it simple as possible. Okay, so in Urdu language, so that everyone will understand Urdu or Hindi. So based on the audience. Okay, so हम यहाँ पे like next thing what we are going to learn about. Okay, let me switch to the website. Sorry, the presentation. Okay, so we were talking about DOM. Okay, so now that DOM, ये जो आपने जो DOM structure, document object model, seeing these elements and everything. So that is like which helps you to build the website. Okay, जब आप elements को hierarchy इस model में वहाँ पे place करते हैं, तो आपका एक website actually build होता है. So that you have learned how, like when you have built HTML websites and all, right? Same thing is true for any other framework. लेकिन क्या होता है, we use a different kind of syntax, or I would say a version of JavaScript to build these advanced frameworks. लेकिन before it loads onto your website, it needs to be converted to ES5. जो वर्जन like JavaScript का या HTML का आपका ब्राउजर अंडरस्टैंड कर रहा है, उस वर्जन में कन्वर्ट होना चाहिए. Okay, so anyways, so what is a virtual DOM? So React.js came up with an idea. So what was happening कि whenever we were manipulating DOM, okay, कुछ भी change करते थे, it had to reload. Okay, But what React did, it actually managed a in-memory DOM, kind of a replica of this DOM. Okay, in memory. When we are building React or we are executing it, it is managing that in memory. And whenever anything switch, anything change, okay, it actually enables to change only that particular element. Okay, तो खाली वो particular element वहां पे change होता है. So then it becomes very quick. Okay, and then it also happens asynchronously. So there are a lot of additional handlings that you have to do, like you have to make sure like how it actually works. But that virtual DOM makes like it very high performance. You do not have to recreate the reload the whole DOM. Instead, only some limited elements get loaded. Okay, based upon the state that you have managed and based upon the change that you are doing, right? So next thing is like React is a component based architecture. It makes easy to build. Okay, component based architecture means इसके अंदर you have a single page application. Okay, so you will see a single .html file getting loaded, and whenever anything pops up, whatever new things you are seeing, you are changing your routes and everything. Routes means like going from one page to another page. That page remains same. Only whatever you are seeing inside it, that is your component. Okay, so only those components change at the runtime. So that is what makes it fast, okay, and easy to maintain, and enables it to handle very complex user interfaces, which was very complicated into the, like I would say, a static framework. Like maybe Bootstrap was had provided kind of a library to build these routes and pages, but yeah, all that changed with these advanced frameworks. Large and active community like React.js has been into the industry for over, I would say, 8 9 years now, and it has grown to a very very large extent. You will see a lot of people out there and lot of our jobs out there for React.js, because based upon the community and its easiness and whatever the implementation, it has grown to a very very large extent. Certainly there are more frameworks which are getting user, okay, but I would say for a UI developer, the main focus and aim is to focus on the fundamentals. What are the UI components, how does it get rendered, talking about virtual DOM, talking about like handling the like logic. Lot of logic gets handled on the client hand side also. Like you might have like learned or heard about that all the logic goes on the back end, but that's not anymore true. You will see a lot of handling getting like happening on the front end side as well. And you will see a very huge community in React.js. Like whenever you encounter a error or maybe a challenge, you will see it has been faced by someone else, they have built a solution. So that makes things, that makes life easy. You are not alone out there. You will see someone that has actually picked up that task, and they certainly they can help you onto your blockers, right? It's a very very popular, very widely used in the industry, and like you will see a lot of jobs in React.js. Okay, so if you visit like job portals like Naukri and LinkedIn and all, you will see a lot of jobs in React.js. Okay, and okay, now coming to the actual agenda, what we are going to do now, right? So today we are going to build an e-commerce app in React.js. So an e-commerce app like a normal web application having like a product like browsing and searching kind of option. So it will have a shopping cart. We will add to cart and it should get added to the shopping cart. We'll have product details page. Okay. And we will have responsive design also, so that like it will work fine on the on a big like laptop screen and a mobile screen also. And it should be have like very good optimization in performance, right? It should be quick, it should render quickly. Like having hundreds and thousands of elements should not break the code. It should still be able to do that. And we'll be seeing building all of this practically. Okay, so what I have done, I have built an similar application like this. Okay, so which I was showing you guys, right? I showed you that here, right? So this is an application that I have already prepared for this demo, right? But what I will be doing, I'll be just keeping it for the demo, and we'll be trying to build something, and we'll try to see like how quickly we can build it, whether it will take days or weeks, or maybe we can build it with the help of React and maybe some other tools. We can build it in maybe within an hour, right? That's the time we have. So I'll try to, maybe I won't be able to finish it all 100%, but certainly I'll tell you about all the concepts, how you will gather the data and how you will display. Nothing should be static. It should be actually very dynamic. Okay. So by dynamic, what does it mean? It means like it will be like all the details, all the information regarding the products should be coming from a backend server. Okay. So that will help you to connect with how actually the real implementation happens. Because on websites like, let's say Flipkart, Amazon and all, do you expect like all these products were added by the developers manually? मतलब कि उन्होंने वहां पे हर एक प्रोडक्ट के लिए HTML कोड लिखा होगा? Certainly no. So what, how does it work? So there is a very huge database behind it, okay? And then there are more applications which are helping to build, and like how do, what is the Amazon architecture? Can you guys, like, do you guys know about it? So what do? They have something called a warehouse system, right? So they have on different regions, like because whenever you might have ordered, तो वहां पे आप देखोगे कि ये वेयर हाउस के बारे में पता है किस वर्क वेयर हाउस पे, like if you track your order, it talks about warehouses. So what happens? There are lot of vendors that are connected with particular warehouse, and whenever an order comes to that vendor, their job is to pack that order and take it to the warehouse and place it into the warehouse. You can say like a very huge storage. Okay. फिर Amazon क्या करता है? Amazon वहां वो warehouse से उठा के with its logistics, it picks it up and then it delivers to your home, right? And into this journey you will see lot of applications getting used. First, there will be an application like which we use as an end user, as a customer. We view a product, we pick it up, and the prices, where are the prices coming from? Those are directly managed by the supplier himself. Okay. So it is not Amazon or it's not a developer who has placed it, but they are changing it at the runtime. Okay. So maybe they will see there is more demand, they will change it by some price. Okay. Or maybe they want to sell it for a cheaper price, they will change it. Okay. So they have a it's impossible to do it manually, certainly. So there is a like a comment onto the chat is like thinking of it like having thousands and thousands of products which you are seeing on the website. Like हम थक जाते हैं like surfing on the products and seeing products on the Amazon, but the product list never ends. That is because lot of products are out there, and it's certainly impossible to do it manually. For those who do not understand what does it mean manually and all, so by manually I mean to say building it with the HTML, actual HTML. Okay. जैसे मैंने ये बॉक्स बनाया, उसके अंदर एज अ पैराग्राफ टैग ये मैसेज लिखा, ये लिखा. ओके. एंड देन बिल्डिंग अनदर बॉक्स. ओके. तो वो ये करते करते think of it कि how much time it will take, and it won't be dynamic. Prices and nothing will change at the runtime. Okay. So how React will help me to build this? And you see, it is fairly a complex application. It's not that straightforward. You'll see there are more pages to see the details, to filter on this. Okay. And you will see there is another page called details, product details page. And we are going to try to build all of this within 1 hour with the help of React. Okay, that would be cool, right? And we'll try to like we will actually building everything uh, like at the runtime and building it dynamic. Okay, all the information, everything that's coming up, that would be dynamic. Okay, and yeah, there are more options, so we'll see. Okay, so fingers crossed. So let's hope that we will finish it on time, and we'll wrap it up. And I would love to take it to the next level, but certainly let's see if time permits. We will also talk about add to cart and all those functionalities that we will do. Okay. So, and if you see, let me also show you a glimpse how I have built this application, and then we are going to do it actually. If you see what I have done, I have used a library, like I have used React.js. and I have used something called Bootstrap. Okay, so what's a Bootstrap? Bootstrap is a CSS library. As you see, like there are JavaScript libraries out there. Similarly, there are CSS libraries, which gives you some classes. Okay, so that you don't have to rewrite the styling and all. Okay, it only works on the, like I would say, the cosmetic change. Okay, whatever the interface that you want to change, whatever you want to see, if that needs to change, you can use these classes. Okay, so like there are a lot of things like to play with, lot of different types of classes, lot of logic for these different classes also. But overall, Bootstrap makes things very, very simple. Okay, but let's see if we are going to use Bootstrap or something else, right? So coming back, so the agenda here is in next 1 hour, we should be capable to understand how to implement it. I won't be like focusing too much on the styling right now, but certainly I'll be setting up the basic structure that you will see that, okay, styling would be easy now, right? So at least we should be able to see the products. We should be able to see the product details. We should be able to route between pages, add to cart and all that. Okay. So next is like this page, which is for the product details page. You see other pages that are getting displayed here, like other products getting displayed as related products. And also like you see some carousel or so. So that will have some functionality. And how can we build this? Like how can we build this quickly within just 1 hour? How is that possible? Right? And then there is a filter page where you could apply some filters and all. This needs to be more dynamic. Okay, it could be based upon the APIs that you are getting different data, or we will fetch some data, and based upon these filters we will apply onto our existing list, and it will change the products list that you are seeing here. Okay, so now you got the agenda of the, like the regarding the application that we are going to build. So next I'm going to talk about the tools. Okay. So what are the tools that we are going to use for the building this application? Okay. So the first tool that is going to be Node. Okay. Anyone knows about what Node is? Do you guys know about Node? What's a node? Is it a language? Is it some library, or what is it? Runtime environment. Great. Okay. Yep. Any more comments? That's true. Runtime environment. Okay. Okay. So Sunober says it is a runtime environment. Okay. So that means it will help you to run things at like a runtime. Like it helps you to run some things. Okay. What does it actually mean? So I talked about the browser and its capabilities. Okay. So what do we have? We have some code that we have written into the JavaScript language, and you need a particular environment to run it. Okay. तो अभी तक क्या करते थे, like we used to run it on browsers, right? So browser has like that capability that it is enabled with V8 engine, which you can in simple terms you can say which is a JavaScript execution engine, and it helps you to run that JavaScript code, right? But with the evolving JavaScript and like with the evolving technologies, Node came in. Okay, so Node is like an isolated runtime environment, or I would say isolated V8 engine. Okay, what did it do? It extracted this V8 engine. So whatever its origin was, Node used that V8 engine. So it said that, okay, let me build a software which is capable to run JavaScript, but it does not need a browser. Okay, you do not need to have a browser. Okay, all the code, जितना भी code आपने JavaScript में लिखा है, वो कहाँ पे execute होगा? In a different environment. Okay, so that would be your runtime environment. That is what the node is. Okay, it's like a basic software. And if you want to install it, you will simply go to node, you'll say download. Okay, this is nodejs.org, the official website. And yeah, you will go to the like this module. Do not go for current one. Current one is like from the previous latest stable release. Current one is like whatever is like getting built new. Okay, because it has evolved to like if you see current release version, that's 19. And since release 1, it has evolved a lot of features getting added every year or in months and all. So everything you will see here, right? So current will have the latest change, so maybe it's not always stable. Maybe you'll get some errors, it will not work as expected. That's what the current means. But if you want to test a feature like which is coming up in a latest release, so that's where like developers go for it. Otherwise, like you should go for the like this stable release, which is recommended for most of the users. You should pick it based upon your operating system. You should download it and install it. It's like simple like any other software. Basic, next. That's it. Okay. It will do some basic configuration. It will set some environment variables and all. If not, you can do it manually. Okay. Simple Google kariye. You will see that set environment variable. Check for the path in C directory and set that into the paths variable. Okay, and then once you start, so what we will do, we will go for this. Okay, so मैं यहाँ पे इसको zoom out करता हूँ. You will see node -v, which says that what is my node version. Okay, so this is my node version. I'm quite at the old node version, but that should be fine. Okay, so I can go for it. I do not need to upgrade. Okay, because I am not using such a latest feature which is out there. Okay, so latest version mein hai. So I'll continue with using this, or I could just upgrade. And there is something additionally which comes along with the node. Okay, and yeah, talking a little bit more about node has evolved in such a way that previously it got like just created as an runtime environment कि इसके ऊपर JavaScript create किया जाए. But then slowly JavaScript also evolved in such a way that it could be used as a backend technology also. Okay, it could be used having all those, I would say, libraries and frameworks intact, that it could support your backend technologies. It could support data streaming. It could support big data analytics. It could support chatbots, web scraping, automation, like obviously REST web applications, like which are talking about the MERN stack, right? You must have heard about what is MERN stack. So it is one of the like very commonly and most widely used, I won't say most widely, but very commonly used kind of a tool set, which enables you to build very fast real-time applications. Okay, and which are generally small scale, because JavaScript and Node has its own limitations. Okay, so I'll be speaking about that. Okay, so in short words, like JavaScript is not having a multi-threading capability. Okay, so it is a single threaded. So that means you cannot run n number of threads. Okay, but it is asynchronous. It handles events asynchronously. Okay. Okay, so now what does it do? So it gives you, it enables you to have the APIs also. Okay, APIs are getting used to connect to your front end side. मान लीजिए कि आपकी web application, either it is running on your mobile devices or in a browser, that needs to connect with the server, right? That needs to connect with the database, right? And there was always a middle layer which was generally getting built in .NET, PHP, Java. Lekin when Node came in, they said that let's not read a new language. We don't need to read Java and all. Okay, both have their own advantage, disadvantage. But you could go and you could use for small scale application. You could go and you could use Node.js also. Okay, what you can do, you can go and you can use it directly. Okay, so you do not need to learn another language. You can go with the JavaScript only. Okay, and then you can start implementing the APIs also, which will connect with the database. That's when the MERN stack got evolved. MERN ने क्या बोला कि आप MongoDB, which is a no structured database, like that relational database is like older concepts, but there came different type of database called a non-structured database or NoSQL database. Okay, so like a MongoDB, for example, you want to save your chats, which does not have a pattern, which does not have, let's say, rows and columns and all that. Okay, it comes in absurd ways, so we store them directly onto the documents. Okay, so that is what Node like got famous for. It gets very closely bound with the like playing with these objects on MongoDB with the help of Express. That's again a library, and then Mongo's something like library to connect with your MongoDB and all. Okay, so Node came a long way since it got actually like first release. So next is in Node, there comes an internal build kind of a tool or again, which is called NPM. Okay, that's actually Node Package Manager. Fine. So what's a Node Package Manager? Node Package Manager is, you would say, a repository, a remotely located repository. Okay, so I'll say npm. Okay, so if you see, there is a website called npmjs.com. Okay, so whenever you build, like for example, Facebook built React. So what did it do? Okay, तो उनको क्या करना था, या तो उन्हें like उठा के it had to host it on a particular place, or it had to kept it somewhere so that everyone would access it. Okay, जैसे आपके पास git repositories रहती है, you build your code, you do not want to keep it on your laptop because laptop is not safe, but there is a third party platform which is safe. Okay, जहां पे ये हमेशा save रहेगा and it provides sufficient security for your code also. Okay, similarly npm, that repository came in, they said that okay, whatever libraries you are building, okay, we could go and we could host it. Okay, उन्होंने क्या किया, lots of libraries, I would say thousands and millions of libraries are hosted here. I don't have the exact number, but there are tons, thousands of libraries that are hosted, and one of those is React. Okay, अगर आप React को यहाँ पे search करोगे, you will see there would be a library called React. Okay, React is a JavaScript library for building user interface. And if you see, this was published by Facebook. Okay, it tells what are the versions and all, and it gives you an option to download it if you want to use it. Okay, but these these libraries, we do not download like any other software. Okay, how do we download it? We download it with the help of Node. Okay, so Node gives you intact this npm, so you can go, you can use some commands to download it. Okay, so you can simply use npm I stands for install React, so it downloads that library into your Node environment and you can go and use it. Okay, so abhi apart from Node v8 engine, you have a library. Okay, what is a library? Library is like, it's a pre-written JavaScript code which is meant to do a certain task. Okay, for example, कि मान लीजिए you are building a library which will handle your, let's say, calendars. Okay, for example, it handles the dates, it gives you what are the different time zones and everything. You will build a library, you will publish it to npm, and if it gets released and all, there is a kind of a process for that, so other users can go and they can download it, use it. You could also make it licensed. You could ask them that if you want to use my application, I'll charge you. So there are a lot of libraries which are licensed. You have to purchase a license if you want to use it for the commercial purpose. Okay, otherwise they can sue you. Okay, they can say that how did you use my library? It is licensed. You are supposed to pay if you want to use it for the production level. Okay, and there could be some features that would be hidden, but for open source libraries, everything is open. You could go, you could use it for free. Okay, that's what React is. Open source library, you will use it for free, right? And now Facebook, as soon as it released React, it said that okay, I'm not okay with npm. Okay, npm में कुछ issues है, so they came up with another kind of a library which is called yarn. That is nothing but yet another resource, something like that. So not sure about the full form, So it is like yet another resource negotiator. Okay. So what does it do? It does nothing. Similarly, as you can download the libraries from npm, it will also download npm libraries. Okay, but it focuses on much more speed. It downloads it quickly. It has its kind of own optimization, security, consistency. वो सब चीजों के लिए. Okay. So yarn is also something like that. You will see some developers and some libraries, some examples you will see yarn getting used, but nothing different. You could do everything whatever is there in the npm, so you could do with the yarn also, or vice versa. Okay, so now let's get started. Okay, so here I am going to pick our implementation, and we are going to, as discussed, we are going to build the e-commerce application uh, as much close as possible to this, and understanding what are the features, what are the dynamics of it. Our aim would be focused on the UI part, like how will you actually play with, like style it. I won't be focused on the styling, but I will be focused on the functionality part of it. And we will be using React, NPM, Node.js, all these tools to actually build this. Okay. And apart from this, as I told you, I showed you the code. This library, this application is built in Bootstrap. Okay. And Bootstrap is a very, very old CSS library, like close to, I would say, 13 or 14, maybe 15 years old. But there is a very advanced and very heavily used library called Material UI. Okay. Material UI is a library which gives you, which is very efficiently working with React. It doesn't have different flavors to work with the different frameworks like Vue and Angular also. So, but for this, in like by default, it is supporting the React components. So you will see, you can go and you can use it. Okay, and we will check on it step by step. How will you use it? Okay. So what does a library like a CSS library mean, and why do we need to use it? Because you will see whenever you have to style something, okay, you have to build a card, you have to build a button, या तो आपको बैठ के 1-1.5 घंटा आपको CSS करना है if you want to style a particular div or a button or something, right? But if you want to make it quick, okay, so जैसे ही bootstrap ने क्या ऑप्शन दिया आपको, आप खाली क्लास नेम मेंशन कर लो. तो अगर आपने bootstrap लाइब्रेरी ऐड किया हुआ है, it will apply that CSS on top of this element, okay, with the help of class name. Similarly, Material UI provides the components directly. Okay, and we need to read about what are components and how to use it. Okay, so components आप उठा के क्या करोगे, directly use करोगे, and you will also get an options to have these different variants. For example, I have built these 3 buttons. Okay, it looks nothing like आपका like vanilla HTML button. Okay, अगर आप basic HTML button बनाओगे, that will look very basic. Okay, लेकिन यहाँ पे there is some styling, there is some like contained and outlined. Okay, so kind of styling that it has added with the help of this variant property. Okay, तो ऐसा करके आप simple components को use कर सकते हैं. Okay, and we will learn about building components, then we will come back. So we are going to build application with the help of React.js and Material UI, and you will see how quick that goes. Okay, with Material UI, it is much quicker than even Bootstrap. Okay, बाकी सब concept similar है, ये करता कुछ नहीं है. It has pre-built a particular component, and that component has some kind of styling with it. Okay, certainly we can use Bootstrap, we can use Material UI, but there would be a lot of conflict. Okay, so there could be, like, for example, based upon the classes and all, that could create a conflict. Okay, लेकिन यहाँ पे आपको components directly provide हो रहे हैं, तो and certainly like JavaScript has a flexibility to use your HTML5 syntax also, like using divs and tags and all, so you could go and use that. Okay, so let's see. So let's get started. I'm going to take it to the implementation level now, right? So yeah, so for next 1 hour, let's stay focused, and then yeah, after 1 hour, I'll try to make sure that maximum portion that you will grasp, If there would be something left, so we can talk about it like when or and how we are going to cover it, right? So yeah, to begin with, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take you to the, like I talked about NPM, and if you see, it gives me the documentation here. So you see, React has its own documentation again. Okay, so every language nowadays comes up with a very, very rich documentation. So you do not need any book or maybe any third-party website to learn about it. But certainly these websites are like these are like the textbooks. Okay, so they give you very crispy and very short brief introduction about everything, every concept that they mention, but certainly every single word, every single line is very, very important. Okay, so if you want to get anything for any particular language, go for its official documentation. So for React, the documentation is maintained here. Okay, reactjs.org, और यहाँ पे आपको देखोगे पूरा डॉक्यूमेंटेशन दिया हुआ है टू गेट स्टार्ट विद वट एवर द कॉन्सेप्ट्स आर, वट एवर द एडवांस्ड कॉन्सेप्ट्स आर, तो वो सब चीजें दी हुई है. ओके, सो लेट्स सी, लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. So I'll begin with okay, let me open the item. Let me go to, like, let me see where I am. CD, let's go to desktop. Okay, and on Windows you can use PowerShell, which takes these commands like Unix commands. Okay, so if you want to create a folder, let me create a folder. I'll say mkdir. So let me create a folder like Bootcamp 14 Jan. Okay, so I'll go to Bootcamp folder. Okay, so it has more folders with the same name. Otherwise, you will use a tab, it will take you there. And yeah, it has nothing. Okay, so what I'm going to do first now, we talked about npm. It gives me all those libraries. Okay, जो भी आप use करना चाहोगे, जितना भी यहाँ पे host है वो use करेंगे. Okay, so what I have to do first, I have to install React. Okay, तो मैं उठा के क्या करूंगा, React install करूंगा, फिर उस React को use करूंगा. Okay, but to make it quick, like our challenge is to build this application in 1 hour. Okay, so how will you do that? So we will use something called create React app. Okay, create React app. Okay, it is again a library जो npm पे hosted है, and when you say npm I install, and you will use another keyword here called -g command. Okay, so that stands for global. तो global क्या होता है? Global gets installed across your whole system. Okay, and if you do not say -g, it gets installed within this folder. Okay, इस folder के बाहर उसको इस चीज का पता नहीं होगा, but if you say -g, it is global. Okay, what we are going to use, we are going to use create React app as a library which will help you to am I audible, everyone? Okay, yep, so most of the folks can hear me. Let me just, yep, can you hear me now? Yep, so I think it's good. It's someone is facing the issue. It might be your connectivity. So let's see, let's continue. Okay, तो हम क्या कर रहे हैं? हम डाउनलोड कर रहे हैं एप्लीकेशन क्रिएट, सॉरी, दिस लाइब्रेरी फ्रॉम npm. ओके, नोड पैकेज मैनेजर विच इज रिमोटली लोकेटेड रिपोजिटरी, और इस कमांड से हम डाउनलोड करेंगे. सो या रिगार्डिंग npm अगेन, as soon as I install, जैसे मैंने manually node install किया, then you see -node -v. Similarly you will see npm -v. इसका भी एक वर्जन होगा जो आपको हेल्प करेगा ये repositories डाउनलोड करने के लिए. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say npm I -g create React app. Okay, since I have already done this, I'm not going to do it again. तो मैंने install किया हुआ है. So you will use this command. Next, what you are going to do, you are going to say npm x. Okay, npm stands for like you want to download it, but npm x means like you want to execute a particular library which you just installed. Okay, कोई भी node library अगर आपको execute करनी है, so you will say create React app. Okay, now you have npx create React app. What to do? So I'll say, okay, let me see if I have create React app or not. So I'll say npm I -g Create React. You have to give the actual word, which is actual kind of yeah, actual case. Okay, so upper, small, whatever is given onto the npm library name, you have to give exactly same. और जितना भी स्पेस वगैरह कुछ क्या होगा वो देना है 100%. Otherwise it will give you an error. Okay, so now I'll say npx create react app. Okay, then I will give my app name. Okay, so let's say I would say my app, or I'll say boot camp ecom app. Okay, so use always small cases here. Okay, and you cannot use a space in between, otherwise it will throw an error. That is the restriction which create react app has kept on top of it. So आप capital use करोगे, spaces use करोगे, वो generally error फेंकता है. तो यहाँ पे ऑलवेज यूज दिस इज द नेम, इस नाम से एक फोल्डर क्रिएट होगा इस पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन के अंदर. सो लेट्स सी. ओके, it will take depends upon the bandwidth that you have, it will take some time. So install for create react app latest. Okay, npm I this. So let's install this first. Latest. This gives me an error. Let me see. It should not ideally. Sorry, my bad. I have named it, spelled it wrong. Okay. So we have it now, and let's see, let's execute it. So it's create react app. This. Okay. So now it will start building the folder. Okay. And that folder will be something called as boilerplate. Okay. So this is something having all those basic package or libraries installed जो आपको React को start करने के लिए required है. Okay, तो आप whenever you want to build a React application, you need to start ABC libraries. Okay, कुछ libraries आपको install करनी है, लेकिन ये जो हमने boilerplate यहाँ पे create किया, that will have all these applications. Okay, all these libraries pre-installed. Okay, so now next tool that I am going to use is my VS Code. Okay, you could use a different editor or so, लेकिन VS Code में क्या है? It has like lot many capabilities to handle these coding syntax, and it provides some extensions that will make things easier. So what I will do, I will open a new window, and I will go and I will open this folder there. Okay, so this is how it looks like on Mac. Windows may be same here, but you will see the controls little bit here and there. On desktop, I have built Bootcamp. Okay, so I'm going to open this application here. I have named this application, so it is here. Okay, and you see the application got installed, it finished, and it says say npm start, and that will start your application. If you want to build it for production, if you want to deploy it somewhere, you have to say npm run build test. If you want to have added some testers to run and some more commands. Okay, so what I will do, either I can control it from here. I will go to that particular folder and I will run those commands, or my VS Code provides me the terminal option here. जैसे आपका command prompt वहाँ पे Windows पे आपके पास होगा या PowerShell. Similarly, this same terminal is provided here by VS Code directly. Okay, so you do not need to go out. Okay, आपको अलग से command prompt से ये सब चीजें run करने की जरूरत. If you want to now install a different package npm I, कोई दूसरा पैकेज वो आप यहाँ से कर सकते हैं. Okay, so you don't have to go to command prompt or PowerShell. So now let's understand what is this application and how did it get started, and what are the basic things that got built. So what is this? So this application is our boilerplate. Okay, just a second. So this application is the boilerplate. Okay, it provides the basic libraries which are needed. Okay, so let me tell you what do I mean by that. So यहाँ पे there would be a file called package.json. Okay, so package.json will actually mention all that libraries जो आपने node package manager से install करने थे. So what you had to do, you had to install these libraries one by one. जैसा मैंने अभी create react app करके डाउनलोड किया एक लाइब्रेरी, सिमिलरली आपको रिएक्ट डोम स्क्रिप्ट वेब वाइटल्स और ये कुछ कुछ लाइब्रेरीज, इफ यू वांट टू यूज दैम यू हैड टू डाउनलोड इट मैन्युअली. ओके, एंड यू हैड टू लाइक, अदरवाइज बाकी सब यहाँ पे व्हाट आर द स्क्रिप्ट्स, हाउ वुड यू स्टार्ट योर एप्लीकेशन, वो सब कुछ हमें क्रिएट रिएक्ट ऐप ने खुद से बना के दिया. अदरवाइज इफ यू वांट टू डू एवरीथिंग ऑल ऑफ दिस फ्रॉम स्क्रैच, तो आप कैसे शुरू करोगे, एक पट एम्प्टी फोल्डर में एक कमांड रन करो यूजिंग cmd और लाइक PowerShell, npm init. ओके, वो इनिशियलाइज करेगा, एक सिंपल package.json फाइल बनेगा, एंड देन within that then install these libraries one by one. So npm I react, npm I react dom, so all those things. Okay, so it is picking up these latest versions always. Okay, so that's what you will see. So next इसके अंदर एक public folder होता है. Okay, like first of all जो भी पैकेज आपने यहाँ पे मेंशन किए हैं, those got installed and there are more dependent libraries. Okay, एक लाइब्रेरी को रन करने के लिए उसके नीचे और भी बहुत लाइब्रेरीज है जिस पे वो डिपेंडेंट है. All of these get downloaded into this folder. Okay, node modules folder. You will see lot of files here. तो ये सब जो है आपको डायरेक्ट एक्सेस मिल रहा है. ओके, दैट इज व्हाई रिएक्ट इज ओपन सोर्स. आपको जितना भी कोड है ना रिएक्ट के अंदर, वो आप जाके यहाँ देख सकते हैं. ओके, उसने कैसे लिखा है ये सब चीजें, कैसे ये चीजें हो रही है, एवरीथिंग इज प्रेजेंट हियर. दीज आर नथिंग फैंसी, लाइक वही जावास्क्रिप्ट वगैरह जो आप बना रहे हैं वैसे ही उन लोगों ने रिएक्ट प्लेटफॉर्म भी बनाया. एंड this node modules folder will actually hold all those libraries and everything, and once you start using that you will use them directly. Okay, और यहाँ पे एक और फाइल होगी called package log json. whenever you install ये अपडेट होता रहता है package log. Okay, so package log में क्या आता है, package log actually keeps an eye on to your whatever you have download, उसका वर्जन क्या है, कहाँ से आया, कहाँ पे गया. Okay, and sometimes you might face an error कि आपका कोई particular package वगैरह नहीं चल रहा है. So what you will do, हम node modules और ये package log delete कर देंगे. Okay, and then you will run a command again called npm install. Okay, तब क्या होगा, तब ये चेक करेगा कि package.json के अंदर क्या क्या फाइल्स है. ओके, सो लेट मी रन दिस. ये कुछ नहीं करेगा, ये package.json के अंदर चेक करेगा कि क्या क्या फाइल्स है एंड डू आई हैव ऑल ऑफ दैट. तो यहाँ पे उसको सब कुछ मिला, इसलिए उसने ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लिया. अगर यहाँ पे कुछ एडिशनली उसको आया होगा या फिर आपके पास नोड मॉड्यूल फोल्डर था ही नहीं, आपने उड़ा दिया था, तो npm इंस्टॉल से वो वापस आ जाएगा. बट यू नीड टू मेक श्योर कि दैट इज एक्चुअली लिस्टेड हियर, दैट इज प्रोवाइडेड हियर, राइट. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट क्या करेंगे, what is this index.html? So this is actually what we call the single page application. Okay, I'll show you by starting this application. Okay, तो start करने के लिए हमें क्या करना है, we have to run a command which is again provided in package.json start here script. Okay, so actually it runs this script, it runs this code, but I will run it with the help of npm. I will call this directly, this script. Okay, it will run internally, it will run this. So what I will do, I'll say npm start. Okay, so it will run this script, and as soon as it does, it executes this script. Okay, so I see I have a application already open at port 3000. Otherwise वो 3000 पे open करता है. When I say yes, it will launch my application in a different port which is 3001. Okay, so this is your application gets hosted. Okay, तो आपका यहाँ पे जो node like we're talking about the node run environment, right? तो as soon as I say start, तो जितना भी जावास्क्रिप्ट का या रिएक्ट का कोड यहाँ पे लिखा था वो कहाँ पे रन हो रहा है, शाबाश. It gets executed on top of your node runtime environment, and that is what is actually hosting it. Okay, तो यहाँ पे उसको वो रन कर रहा है आपके लोकल होस्ट पे, वो एनवायरमेंट आपका आप है. Okay, so when we say environment, it is like a software running in memory, nothing like that. लेकिन आपका जो जावास्क्रिप्ट जो रिएक्ट है वो उसी सॉफ्टवेयर के ऊपर चल रहा है. ठीक, इसके गेम से ना चलावा. What happens? It takes some memory, right? Everything runs into like within that kind of whatever the memory it has taken. Okay, all these characters and everything जो भी आप देख रहे हो वो सब चीजें वहां पे चल रही है programmatically. Okay, and then you are able to see it. Same is true for this. तो बेसिक जो व्यू है रिएक्ट जो क्रिएट एप्लीकेशन क्रिएट रिएक्ट ऐप से हमें मिला, दैट इज दिस. नाउ आवर जॉब इज टू ऐड कंपोनेंट्स टू इट सो दैट कि हम क्या देखें, हम अपना एप्लीकेशन बना सके. सो व्हाट इज आवर एम? टू बिल्ड ई कॉमर्स एप्लीकेशन. ओके, सो index.html, if you see, index.html is the basic HTML file. जब आपका react लोड होता है, you see it has normal HTML, तो ये HTML यहाँ पे रेंडर होता है. ओके, उसके बाद आता है आपका सोर्स के अंदर there comes two files, one is called index.js, then is app.js. so app.js अगर आप देखोगे, this is nothing but a javascript function. ओके, और वो फंक्शन को आपने क्या किया, एक्सपोर्ट. By export, I mean to say I have exposed it to the external component. जहां पे मैंने ये बनाया. Now if anything else wants to use it, okay, तब आप ये कीवर्ड यूज करते हैं export. I want other applications, other files to use this app. What is this app? This is a component. Okay, तो हम देखेंगे कंपोनेंट्स कैसे बनाए जाते हैं. We will read about it properly. लेकिन ये कंपोनेंट को अगर आप देखोगे, ये index.js ने यूज किया. इसने बोला है let me import. एक जगह ने इसको एक्सपोर्ट किया. ओके, जहां पे आपने उसको बनाया, एंड दिस वन इंपोर्ट्स इट, एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट. सो दिस वन इज ट्राइंग टू यूज दिस एप्लीकेशन. तो ये क्या करता है, इफ यू हैव एक्चुअली लर्नड अबाउट वेनिला जावास्क्रिप्ट, कि जहां पे हाउ विल यू मैनिपुलेट जावास्क्रिप्ट एंड ऑल, सो यू विल यूज डॉक्यूमेंट. ओके, विच इज अ प्री डिफाइंड जावास्क्रिप्ट ऑब्जेक्ट, जो आपको डायरेक्टली आपके जो भी आपका HTML है, अगर उसके साथ आपका जावास्क्रिप्ट बाइंड है, इट विल गिव यू एक्सेस टू द डॉम डायरेक्टली. ओके, तो डॉम के अंदर जितने भी एलिमेंट्स हैं, यू कैन एक्सेस देम डायरेक्टली. ओके, सो यू वुड यूज अ लाइक document dot get element by id. तो वो get element by id कहां से कर रहा है? दिस इज द वन. ओके, तो index.html में क्या है, शाबाश, देयर इज जस्ट div root. ओके, और यहां पे ये उस रूट को डॉक्यूमेंट डॉट गेट एलिमेंट बाय आईडी, मतलब उस एलिमेंट को इसने डायनेमिकली पिक किया, एंड विद द हेल्प ऑफ रिएक्ट डॉम वो उसके अंदर इस चीज को पुश कर रहा है. ठीक है, तो इसने क्या किया, ये कंपोनेंट जो बना है उसके अंदर उसको पुश कर रहा है. ओके, सो नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, टू गेट स्टार्टेड, वी आर गोइंग टू क्लीन दिस अप. ओके, तो मुझे ये कुछ नहीं चाहिए. डू यू वांट टू सी एनीथिंग ऑफ लाइक समथिंग लाइक दिस? नो, राइट? सो लेट्स क्लीन इट अप. मैं उठा के इसको क्लीन करता हूं. ओके, एंड व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू, मैं इसको यहाँ पे कुछ नाम देता हूँ. ओके, सो माय फर्स्ट एप्लीकेशन. ओके, and that will reflect here, and if you see I am not restarting or anything. okay, और अगर आप देखोगे ये जो कंपोनेंट है ना, ये कंपोनेंट एंड ऑल ऑफ दिस कोड, ओके, विच इज कॉम्प्लेक्स, विच इज रिटन इन React.js एंड ऑल. ओके, आपको इस चीज के साथ कुछ नहीं करना है. यू हैव टू वर्क डायरेक्टली ऑन द कंपोनेंट लेवल. आपको कंपोनेंट्स बनाने हैं, अपेंड करने, दैट इज योर जॉब टू डू. ओके, नाउ इफ यू सी दिस कोड हियर, दिस लुक्स लाइक this is a simple function, जैसे आप जावास्क्रिप्ट में फंक्शन बनाते हैं, and then you will write a return statement. If you have to write more than one div here, then you will use these parentheses. okay, और div के अंदर कुछ information डाल देंगे. okay, for example I'll say h1, okay, and I'll write this. okay, so you will see that getting printed here. तो यहाँ पे ये जो आप यहाँ पे लिख रहे हो ना, this looks like an HTML, but it is not an HTML. ओके, सो रिएक्ट क्या करता है, रिएक्ट ने कुछ कैपेबिलिटी लाइक एबिलिटी प्रोवाइड की है टू दिस सिंटैक्स विच इज कॉल्ड जावास्क्रिप्ट एक्सटेंशन. ओके, वो क्या करता है, इट हेल्प्स यू टू राइट HTML एंड जावास्क्रिप्ट टुगेदर. ओके, तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं, यू कैन राइट सम JavaScript here. What does that mean? So let me show you what does that mean. So I'll create a variable. I will say count. Okay, is equal to 1. ठीक है, तो मैं ये काउंट उठा के कहाँ डाल दूंगा? मैं उठा के वो रन टाइम पे यहाँ पे डाल सकता हूँ. ओके, सो ये जो काउंट है, व्हाट इज दिस? इट्स ए जावास्क्रिप्ट वेरिएबल. और आपने जावास्क्रिप्ट वेरिएबल को कहाँ डाल दिया? आपके HTML के अंदर डाल दिया, एंड इट विल रिफ्लेक्ट हियर. ओके, सो दैट्स कूल, राइट? तो why? Because you are combining both HTML and JavaScript. So let me show you something else. Let's say I'll create an array. Okay, I'll say names. Okay, and then I'll put some names here. Okay, for example, मैं बोलूँगा, let's say home. Okay, some string. It's a string array. Okay, so what I will do, I will render, I will run, I will create JavaScript code here. Okay, so what I will do, और अगर आप देखोगे this looks like an HTML, लेकिन HTML के अंदर यही कैपेबिलिटी नहीं रहती कि वो JavaScript को वही लिख सके. अगर आपने JavaScript या HTML पे काम किया है, you need to write a script tag separately, और उसके अंदर वो लिख सकते हैं, फिर वहां से HTML को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं. लेकिन what JSX does, it enables you to play with these two things together, HTML और JavaScript. ओके, तो यहाँ पे आप क्या करोगे? You will say dot map. Dot map is a high order JavaScript function which I'm going to use, and I'm going to say name. एक एक एलिमेंट को वो एक एक करके रेंडर करेगा, and I'm going to use this name here. I'm going to say return. Okay, so let me say li item. Okay, मैं li item रिटर्न कर रहा हूँ, उसके अंदर मैं नेम लिखूंगा. ठीक है, तो अगर आप देखोगे, you get these li items created dynamically, और that is because आप JavaScript को HTML के अंदर लिख पा रहे हैं. ओके, सो यू आर सिंपली लूपिंग ऑन अ लिस्ट और उसको यहाँ पे दिखा पा रहे हैं. ओके, सो certainly you need to have a basic understanding of JavaScript, then you will see what is this function. और ये कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, ये वो एक एलिमेंट को बना के इस JavaScript के साथ अपेंड कर रहा है. that is what JSX's job to do. Okay, now if you see this whole code, this looks very different from the actual DOM. यहाँ पे मैं आपको कोड दिखाता हूँ. So if you see DOM, it is simple, h1 li h1, लेकिन आपने ऐसा कोड यहाँ पे नहीं लिखा है. Okay, and it reflects with a different kind of having these simple HTML5 elements. Okay, so this is because when you write these ES6 syntax code, तो यहाँ पे कुछ libraries और भी added है node package manager के अंदर, which are called Babel libraries. Okay, you see Babel. Okay, तो that is what these dependent libraries are. बहुत सारी libraries है जो बहुत कुछ कर रही है backend पे, and you do not have to worry about it. वो कैसे हो रहा है. Okay, तो ये code जो है ES6 syntax, this is not capable to run on the browser directly. Okay, ये कैसे रन हो रहा है? This gets executed because it first gets converted to ES5. Okay, और फिर वो ES5 जो आपका JavaScript 5 जो है वो यहाँ पे रन हो रहा है, because your browser is able to run that only. ब्राउजर को ES6 का भी पता नहीं है. It is not upgraded to that advanced version of JavaScript. Okay, तो इसलिए it gets converted and it starts getting displayed there. Okay, so there is a proper like science behind how these things conversion happens and all. But if you see, जो JavaScript का वेनिला JavaScript के core fundamental concepts है, which are with respect to the manipulation of the DOM. Okay, तो आप उठा के dynamic elements को run time पे create कर सकते हैं. So what will you do? You will use a command called document.create element. Okay, तो आप आपके div elements, h1 li elements run time पे create कर सकते हैं. When it gets converted, it is actually creating that script only. वही JavaScript का script बना रहा है, और तब जाके आपका elements यहाँ पे बन के आ रहे हैं. Okay, so it's a lot complex at the back what React does and all. Okay, लेकिन हमें वहां नहीं जाना है. We have to play with our elements. Okay, so now let me continue. Okay, so I'll show you first of all as a front-end developer, if you have to actually build a big application, enterprise application, how should you actually structure your code? That's the most fundamental thing that you should know. क्योंकि अगर आपने structure सही से नहीं बनाया आपके project का, then you are going to like get confused yourself and other developers also. Okay, you won't be able to control it. So let's do one thing. For that reason, I'm going to create some folders. So I'm going to create 3 folders. One is called page, another one is called components. So this is generally a standard practice, but I'll show you some more tricks. Okay, so यहाँ पे एक और चीज बनाएंगे called modules. Okay, हर एक चीज का अलग अलग मीनिंग है, राइट, यूज करने का, एंड वी विल रीड दैट वन बाय वन. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई विल बिल्ड पेजेस. ओके, तो पेज में क्या करेंगे, आई एम गोइंग टू क्रिएट अगेन अ फोल्डर एंड आई विल नेम दैट एज होम. ओके, और इस होम के अंदर मैं आई एम गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ फाइल कॉल्ड products.js. ओके, तो मैंने एक फाइल बनाई यहाँ पे products.js. Similarly, in pages, I am going to create another folder called product. Okay, product. Okay, just simply product. And here I am going to create a new file called product details. Okay, .js. Fine. तो मैंने यहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे 2 फोल्डर अलग अलग क्रिएट किए. Okay, and that's for a purpose. Why should we create different folders? तो यहाँ पे when I am going to create products, what will I do? I will go and say, I will go and create a component first of all. Okay, तो component कैसे बनाया जाता है? You will simply create a function. Okay, so this could be an arrow function or this could be a normal JavaScript function. You will say products. Okay, ऐसा करके मैंने एक बनाया है यहाँ पे function. And what I'm going to do, this is going to take some parameters if you want to pass, and this. Okay, and as soon as I do that, I'll write a return statement. Return statement में आप वो component के लिए जो भी elements pass करना चाह रहे हो, you will return that. Okay, just give me a second, guys. I'll warm up my hands. Okay, so in return, अभी क्या करेंगे, इसके अंदर आप कुछ भी टेक्स्ट रिटर्न कर सकते हो. ओके, सो एंड वन ऑफ द की थिंग्स दैट यू नीड टू रिमेंबर इज यहाँ पे आप एक ही एलिमेंट रिटर्न कर सकते हैं एट अ टाइम. ओके, आप 2 एलिमेंट्स ऐसे रिटर्न नहीं कर सकते. यू कैन नॉट क्रिएट अनदर डिव, दैट्स नॉट अलाउड. ओके, तो उस चीज के लिए या तो एक ही डिव के अंदर आपको सब कुछ डालना है, पूरा कोड, या फिर एक और चीज रिएक्ट प्रोवाइड करता है विच इज कॉल्ड ए फ्रेगमेंट. ओके, तो ऐसा कुछ उसके अंदर आप पूरा कोड लिख सकते हैं. ओके, इट डज नॉट टेक एनी एडिशनल काइंड ऑफ CSS प्रॉपर्टीज और एनीथिंग लाइक फॉर डिफॉल्ट पैडिंग या मार्जिन वगैरह ऐसा कुछ नहीं रहेगा फ्रेगमेंट में. ओके, तो यहाँ पे मैं I'll say product. Okay, I'll sorry, let me create h1 and I'll say products. Okay, उसके बाद I am going to shabash. I created a component. This is my component. What I had to do next to make it available to the like external other applications, I will go and I will say I want to export it. Okay, so you'll say export default shabash products. Fine. So what I can do now, ये जो यहाँ पे मैं कोड लिख रहा हूँ, as if like जैसे आप div tag बना रहे हो, h1 tag बना रहे हो, JSX again telling you the difference between JSX and HTML. Okay, तो JSX में एक और चीज आप कर सकते हैं. You can go and you can include any runtime, like whatever you have created at the runtime, the component that could be directly used. Okay, तो आप क्या करोगे, you will go and you will use it. Okay, तो use कैसे करोगे, you will say import that particular component, the custom component which we have created, and import it from that file. उसका path देंगे. Okay, तो पाथ उसको कैसे मिल रहा है, जहां पे app.js है उसी करंट फोल्डर में पेजेस है, राइट, डॉट स्लैश मींस करंट फोल्डर, करंट फोल्डर में ही पेजेस है, डबल डॉट मींस वन स्टेप बैक, ओके, एक फोल्डर पीछे, so this dot slash pages home products, okay, this is how I have named this application and sorry this component and I am going to use it, okay, as simple as that. तो यहां पे अगर आप देखोगे, now let's go to the basic. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जब आपका एप्लीकेशन रन हो रहा है, आपको index.html होस्ट हो रहा है, राइट, आपके ब्राउजर पे रन हो रहा है, उस index.html के अंदर कौन जा रहा है, शाबाश, index.js, वो उठा के उसको रिप्लेस कर रहा है किससे, app.js से, ठीक है। और app.js में क्या है, app.js के अंदर एक और कस्टम कंपोनेंट है विच इज कॉल्ड प्रोडक्ट्स। तो ये प्रोडक्ट्स उठा के कहां पे डिस्प्ले होगा, मतलब कि ये जो यहाँ पे h1 करके प्रोडक्ट्स मैसेज है वो मेरा डिस्प्ले हो जाएगा हमारे एप्लीकेशन पे, यू सी प्रोडक्ट्स हियर, right? So before we continue, what I'm going to show you how to set the routes, okay? अलग अलग routes हम कैसे create करेंगे, okay? Routes means कि URL, मैं क्या चाहता हूं कि यहाँ पे मुझे products पेज दिखना चाहिए लेकिन दूसरे URL पे कोई दूसरा पेज दिखना चाहिए, okay? तो मैं यहाँ पे products पेज create किया, similarly there is a shortcut called RAFC जो आपको that will create your component simply। तो मैं यहाँ पे प्रोडक्ट डिटेल्स करके एक कंपोनेंट क्रिएट करूंगा, I'll say प्रोडक्ट डिटेल्स, ओके, एंड इंस्टेड ऑफ सेइंग दिस एक्सपोर्ट I'll write it here एक्सपोर्ट डिफॉल्ट दिस, ओके, ठीक है। तो मैं दूसरा एक कंपोनेंट बनाऊं उसको भी कहाँ डिस्प्ले करूंगा, बस यहाँ पे, सो I'll say प्रोडक्ट डिटेल्स, ठीक है। तो ऐसा करके आप कस्टम कंपोनेंट्स को भी एज ए नॉर्मल HTML टैग की तरह यूज कर सकते हैं, एंड यू विल सी बोथ प्रोडक्ट्स एंड प्रोडक्ट्स डिटेल्स आर गेटिंग अपीयर्ड हियर, बट यू डोंट वांट टू शो देम टुगेदर। प्रोडक्ट्स पे हम क्या दिखाना चाह रहे हैं, प्रोडक्ट्स पे हम कुछ इस तरह से दिखाएंगे हमारे प्रोडक्ट्स को, ओके, और प्रोडक्ट डिटेल्स में आप क्या दिखाओगे, ये जो यहाँ पे ये डिटेल पेज है, समथिंग लाइक दिस, okay, so what do I need to do, I need to change the route, okay, I need to change the path। तो उस चीज के लिए मैं क्या करूंगा, I am going to use a library, again a library called create router DOM, okay, तो मैं ये यूज करने वाला हूँ react router DOM, and there is a detailed documentation here, but let me go and use this, okay, तो मैं उसको उठा के I am going to simply download it, okay, so let me go and download it। अभी I am trying to set the routes, okay, so let's see, let it download। Okay, so first things first, what I'm going to do now, let me first start it, okay, so that कि बाकी change run time हो रही है, okay, so nothing to worry about, we can see it। ये आपका पेज आ गया वापस से 3001। now I want to use the routes, okay, मैं अलग अलग path पे अलग अलग component को दिखाना चाह रहा हूँ, okay, so how will I do that? तो मैं यहाँ पे क्या करूंगा, I am going to go index, यहाँ पे I am going to use browser, okay, browser and router, okay, fine, so let me use this, ठीक है। तो react router DOM में से क्या मैं यूज करूंगा, आई एम गोइंग टू यूज ब्राउजर राउटर हियर, ओके, सो दैट कि मैं क्या कर सकूं, आई एम गोइंग टू रन माय एप्लीकेशन विद इन दैट। उससे क्या होगा, उससे हमारा react router DOM इसके ऊपर एनेबल हो जाएगा। लेट मी import it, let's see, let's try to import it manually, ऑप्शन नहीं दे रहा है, so I'll say import browser router from react router DOM, okay, so okay, so we got this। अभी app.js के अंदर हम routers क्रिएट करेंगे, okay, so उस चीज के लिए मैं क्या करूंगा, I am going to create use a component called routers, okay, so this is routes, and again not getting imported. Let me import it. Okay, so I'll say routes from react router DOM. Okay, तो मैं यहाँ पे इसको इंपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ, यूज कर रहा हूँ. ओके, अभी मैं एक और चीज यूज करूंगा विच इज कॉल्ड राउट. ओके, तो राउट में हम दो चीजें बताएंगे. एक तो पाथ बताएंगे कि उस यूआरएल, जो यूआरएल आप देना चाह रहे हो उसका पाथ क्या होगा. फॉर एग्जांपल आई विल से होम, और उसके अंदर एलिमेंट मतलब कंपोनेंट क्या यूज होने वाला है. ओके, सो दैट इज समथिंग लाइक आई विल से, लेट मी क्लोज दिस हियर. आई विल से आई वांट टू यूज माय प्रोडक्ट्स हियर. ओके, तो वी विल टेक दिस, ऐसा कोड उठा के ये जो एलिमेंट आप ये ऐसे इंडिपेंडेंटली रेंडर कर रहे थे वो मैं यहाँ रेंडर करूंगा. ठीक है, राउट इज नॉट डिफाइंड. ओके, राउट को आपको इंपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा. सो आई विल गो एंड ओके, राउट इंपोर्ट का फिर से ऑप्शन नहीं आ रहा है. आई विल इंपोर्ट इट मैन्युअली. ओके, नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू क्रिएट अनदर पाथ व्हिच इज कॉल्ड प्रोडक्ट डिटेल्स. ओके, और यहाँ पे मैं आई एम गोइंग टू शो दिस हियर. ठीक है, लेट मी रिमूव दिस. तो राउट्स आपने बना लिए, आपने दो यूआरएल बना लिए जो अलग अलग कंपोनेंट्स को लोड करेंगे. ओके, सो व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू, आई एम गोइंग टू टेस्ट इट. यहाँ पे स्लैश होम. ओके, तो आपको प्रोडक्ट आ रहा है. अगर मैं प्रोडक्ट डिटेल्स लिखूंगा तो यहाँ पे प्रोडक्ट डिटेल्स आ रहा है. गुड. So we have set the routes. Now we can like change between these two. Okay. अभी हम नेक्स्ट चीज क्या करेंगे, वी नीड टू हैव सम ऑप्शन जहां पे मैं होम और पेज प्रोडक्ट्स वगैरह पे क्लिक कर सकूं. ओके, फॉर दैट ओके आई एम गोइंग टू यूज, आई एम गोइंग टू क्रिएट अ कंपोनेंट. ओके, तो वो कंपोनेंट को हम नाम रखेंगे, आई विल क्रिएट अ कंपोनेंट फोल्डर कॉल्ड हेडर. ओके, हेडर के अंदर दो फाइल्स क्रिएट होंगी. एक तो हेडर, instead of header I'll say index.js. okay, इसका एक बेनिफिट होता है if you use index.js. and here I am going to create another file. I hope it gets created in home header. okay, तो यहाँ पे मैं इसको बोलूंगा styles.css. ओके, तो ये इसको हेडर के अंदर लेके जाते हैं. ओके, so now you have both index.js and styles.css here. okay, तो मैं क्या करूंगा, मैं हेडर फोल्डर क्रिएट करने जा रहा हूँ, हेडर कंपोनेंट क्रिएट करने जा रहा हूँ. सो व्हाट आर कंपोनेंट्स, कंपोनेंट्स और रीयूजेबल यूआई यूनिट्स. ओके, जो यूआई में आप दिखाना चाह रहे हैं दैट्स कॉल्ड अ कंपोनेंट. ओके, तो उसको मैं यहाँ पे दिखाऊंगा. सो व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू नाउ, आई एम गोइंग टू क्रिएट अनदर कंपोनेंट. सो आई एम गोइंग टू से rf ac, एक शॉर्टकट है, ra, sorry, this is styles.css, go to index. okay, so I'll say rafc. okay, so here I'm going to name this as header. okay, so header हमने बना लिया. Now to actually create a header, if you see it could get complex, right? कितना टाइम लेगा ये ऐसा हेडर बनाने में, you have to place elements here and there, right? तो उसी चीज के लिए हम when we want to get like things done very quickly, what we are going to do, we are going to use ready made components. okay, फिर उनके ऊपर जो लॉजिक होगा वो हम अपने हिसाब से हैंडल कर लेंगे. so what I'm going to do, I'm going to look for something called app bar. okay, तो यहाँ पे सरफेस में आपको ऐप बार दिखेगा. सो इट इज वेरी सिंपल टू यूज. व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, अगर आप डिफॉल्ट यूज करना चाह रहे हो यू कैन गो एंड यू कैन यूज दिस. ओके, तो इसको जब यूज करना चाह रहे हो यू विल सिंपली गो एंड यू विल एक्चुअली चेक फॉर इट्स कोड. ओके, सो आप एक काम, अगर इफ यू वांट टू यूज इट एग्जैक्टली सेम थिंग्स एंड यू विल चेंज इट लेटर ऑन, या फिर दूसरा तरीका, या तो ये कॉपी करके डायरेक्टली डाल दो आपके प्रोजेक्ट में, तब भी चल जाएगा. but certainly you will change it, right? You will change the logo, you will change product and everything, or you will build it step by step. okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to create app bar, फिर एक container, फिर एक toolbar, then we will create more elements. okay, so we'll try to do it very quickly. या फिर आप क्या कर सकते हो, एक हेडर बना सकते हो जिसमें ये सब चीजें आपको क्विकली बनाने के लिए आप क्या कर सकते हो, यू विल कॉपी दिस एंड पेस्ट इट इनटू अ कंपोनेंट. ओके, एंड दैट्स नॉट इट, बिकॉज whatever is provided here is of no use to you. Okay, आपको आपके ऑप्शंस प्रोवाइड करनी है, आपको आपका लोगो प्रोवाइड करना है, आपको यहाँ पे आपके मेन्यू ऑप्शंस प्रोवाइड करने हैं, राइट. इट कुड नॉट बी सेम, राइट. तो लेकिन आप एटलीस्ट देख सकते हो कि ये कैसे बना है, वो उठा के सिमिलर पैटर्न में आप बना सकते हो, राइट. आई रिकमेंड बोथ. कभी कभी कभार like it is better to go and copy from here, complete like whole component. Sometimes you want to build it step by step. Okay, so let's go and do it. Let's build a header. तो मैं यहाँ पे क्या करूँगा, I am going to use a fragment again. Okay, and here I am going to use first of all an app bar. Okay, तो app bar कहाँ से आ रहा है? Okay, now this is supposed to be coming from material UI library. Okay, again I will need a library. तो उस चीज के लिए I'll go to get started installation. So it tells me say npm install and download these files, these libraries, and then you will be able to use material UI, right. So I'm going to copy this, remove this, let me install it. Okay, next, let me copy this. Okay, and if you see there are more things, more options there which are comma separated, right. यहाँ पे आपको क्या दिख रहा है, you'll say npm install new material, like you have more options, space से separated है. Okay, तो these are n number of libraries, इतने libraries दी है मैंने, and all of them will get installed together. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to type this, run this, and it will install all these together. Okay, and let's hope it will run. Since my node version is old, तो maybe कुछ problem दे सकता है. Okay, so it worked. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, let's write some code first, then we'll start the application. Okay, so I'm going to use app bar. Okay, so ये app bar कहाँ से आएगा? It will come from, let me copy this. तो मैं component उठाऊंगा, go to the app bar. Okay, and pick up, let's pick a simple one so that it will become easy. Okay, and I'll show you all of this. Okay, so I'm going to pick up app bar and I'm going to pick up toolbar here. Okay, so pick up app bar and toolbar. Let me close toolbar and let me close the app bar as well, and let me import these options here. Okay, तो मैं यहाँ import के लिए I have to import it from material UI. Okay, so let me import these three options. ठीक है, तो ये import हो गया. Now in toolbar you are supposed to provide the option. जो चीजें आप देखना चाह रहे हो वो चीजें हम यहाँ पे create करेंगे. Okay, so first things first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create an image. Okay, तो मैं एक image create करूंगा for our logo. Okay, so what I'm going to say, I'm going to say source equal to this. तो ये जो सोर्स है या तो आप रिमोटली किसी सर्वर से लेके आ सकते हैं, या यू कैन गेट इट फ्रॉम दिस पब्लिक फोल्डर, या फिर एक और फोल्डर बनाएंगे कॉल्ड एसेट्स, वहां पे आप आपकी फाइल्स को प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं. बट इफ आई वांट टू यूज अ फाइल फ्रॉम लेट्स से पब्लिक फोल्डर, तो उसको कैसे यूज करेंगे, मैं सिंपली स्लैश देन आई विल गिव दैट फाइल नेम. ओके, तो लोगो 192 एक ऑलरेडी फाइल बना हुआ है वहां पे. व्हाट इज दिस लोगो, ये. ओके, तो मैं फिलहाल इसी लोगो को यूज करने वाला हूँ. सो आई एम गोइंग टू यूज दिस. ओके, एंड नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग दैट यू नीड टू मेक श्योर इज यू आर प्रोवाइडिंग ए स्टाइल. ओके, और रिएक्ट के अंदर हम स्टाइल को एज ए ऑब्जेक्ट यहाँ पे क्रिएट करते हैं. ओके, इट्स नॉट ए स्ट्रिंग, इट्स एन ऑब्जेक्ट. तो ऑब्जेक्ट कैसे बनता है, यू विल से दिस इज द हाइट कोलन लेट्स से 20 पिक्सल and this is the width, sorry. Okay, and colon 20 pixel. ठीक है, तो this would be your login image here. Let's go to the home. Okay, क्योंकि हम ये सब चीज कहाँ पे कर रहे हैं, Okay, I have not started the application. I'll say npm start. Okay, मैंने header भी include नहीं किया है, so I'll include header, then you will see it. Okay, तो मैं क्या करूंगा, अभी ये जो header हमारा बना हुआ है, I'm going to take this header and use it here. Okay, तो मैं इस header component को यहाँ पे use करने वाला हूँ. So I'm going to say header from this component. Okay, and you will see the path. It will take path automatically. और अगर आप देखोगे, आपने फाइल का नाम यहाँ पे मेंशन नहीं किया. व्हाट वाज दैट फाइल नेम? index.js. ओके, तो वेन एवर यू से index.js, ये ऑटोमेटिकली खुद से सर्च करता है कि इस फोल्डर के अंदर index.js कौन सी है. तो यू डू नॉट हैव टू मेंशन index.js. लेकिन अगर आपने कुछ नेम दिया होता, फॉर एग्जांपल home.js और header.js, तो आपको वो मेंशन करना पड़ता था फाइल का नाम. ओके, तो दैट इज टू मेक थिंग्स सिंपल. और ये style.css क्यों लिखा हमने? बिकॉज लेट्स से फॉर माय हेडर आई वांट टू डू सम स्पेसिफिक स्टाइलिंग. ओके, और वो स्टाइलिंग खाली हेडर पे अप्लाई होना चाहिए. तो व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल से इंपोर्ट डॉट स्लैश करंट फोल्डर में ही स्टाइलिश फाइल है. ओके, आई एम गोइंग टू गो एंड यूज इट. ओके, वो उठ के हम यहाँ पे यूज करेंगे. जो भी इस स्टाइल के अंदर आप जितना भी स्टाइल डालोगे, वो खाली इस हेडर फाइल के ऊपर इंप्लीमेंट होगा. और उसको यूज करने के लिए सिंपल इंपोर्ट डॉट स्लैश styles डॉट css. Okay, so now next thing what to do is on click of this home page. Okay, so we have a toolbar, and let me add some properties for the toolbar. Okay, so I'll say for the toolbar, okay, so let's create second option. What is our second option? So we have two options to click, right? We want to go to home and we want to go to the products page, right? So let's say I will type, or let's say I want to go to the product details page. So I'll add a new different component here called typography. Okay, it's not. Okay, so let me type it. So it's typography. Typography is a very, like, as you create paragraph and all, right? तो आपका क्या बोलते हैं, आपका मटेरियल यूआई टाइपोग्राफी एक ऑप्शन प्रोवाइड करता है, वेयर इट हैज डिफरेंट वेरिएंट्स, जहां पे आप उसको बता सकते हैं कि वेदर यू वांट टू यूज H1 H2. तो अलग अलग टैग्स मटेरियल यूआई ने नहीं दिए हैं. ओके, सो यू डोंट हैव टू यूज H1 H2 सेपरेटली. आप वो सब चीजें बेस्ड अपॉन द प्रॉपर्टीज टाइपोग्राफी करके यूज कर सकते हैं. ओके, सो लेट मी गो एंड यूज इट. आई विल से एनी क्वेश्चंस? Let me see. Is it a good practice? No. So certainly you should actually use styles. That's why I introduced styles. But certainly, like, if you want to override, so this will be taking the highest precedence. Okay, inline styling. तो आप इसको यहाँ पे ऐसे डाल सकते हैं. Other way is I will use class name. Okay, equal to, let's say, my logo. Okay, I create a. तो यहाँ पे class आप use नहीं करोगे. You will use class name. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to use it here. और यहाँ पे मैं normal ये स्टाइल उठा के डाल सकता हूँ. Okay, but here this won't be an object. Okay, so it will be something like this. Okay, properties equal to, पीछा सा इक्वल टू होता है, कोलन होता है, कोलन ही रहता है. ओके, सो दिस विल बी लोगो एंड इट विल टेक दैट स्टाइल. ओके, तो यहाँ पे आप क्लास यूज नहीं करते बिकॉज ये 6 क्लास इज ए कीवर्ड जो आपको क्लास ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट करने में हेल्प करेगा. दैट आई विल शो यू, एंड देन वी विल डू अ टाइपोग्राफी. ओके, टाइपोग्राफी इंपोर्ट नहीं हो रहा है, सो आई एम गोइंग टू इंपोर्ट इट. आई एम गोइंग टू से इंपोर्ट टाइपोग्राफी from. Okay, so let me copy this typography. So we have typography here to take different styles. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a button. Okay, button from material UI again. Okay, and that button needs to be imported. Let's import. Option क्यों नहीं दे रहा है? Not sure. So let's import button also. Okay, button and fine. So now we are good. Okay, तो button में आप एक option डालोगे called product details. Okay, तो यहाँ पे let's see, this is the logo and you should see the button option here called product details. Probably it has the same color, so I'm going to say I'm going to add some style. Okay, या फिर button को हटा देते हैं. Okay, I'm going to button style and I'm going to type it. Okay, तो ये यहाँ पे दिख जाएगा. बटन में बाय डिफॉल्ट वो प्राइमरी कलर ही ले लेता है. ओके, मटेरियल यूआई हैज कलर थीमिंग आल्सो. तो आप कलर अगर चाहो वो पूरी एप्लीकेशन का एक साथ चेंज कर सकते हो. So that is based upon the theme which material UI uses. So what you will do, you will use by default it ticks below. So primary color उसने वो लिया था. That's why it was not actually visible. But we will see this one. Okay. अभी what I want to show you कि इसके क्लिक पे मुझे क्या करना है, मुझे प्रोडक्ट डिटेल्स पे जाना है और इसके क्लिक पे मुझे वापस प्रोडक्ट पे आना है. सो हाउ विल वी डू दैट? तो उसके लिए यहाँ पे एक ऑप्शन आता है कॉल्ड लिंक. ओके, and that link will come from React router DOM. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to say import link. Okay, from React router DOM. Okay, तो मैं ये लिंक उठा रहा हूँ एंड इस लिंक को यहाँ पे क्लोज करेंगे. लिंक के आप लिंक के बिटवीन कुछ भी बटन या इमेज या कुछ भी डाल सकते हैं. what will this link do? Okay, तो ये लिंक क्या करेगा, इसमें मैं बोलूंगा कि हम क्या करने वाले हैं. We are going to go to and as soon as we click on this link मतलब जो इमेज है इसके ऊपर जब मैं क्लिक करूंगा, I want to go to this URL. ओके, तो URL आपने कहाँ मेंशन किया हुआ है? ये जो पाथ है. ओके, so what I'm going to say, I'm going to jump to home. Okay, similarly here I am going to create a link. Okay, and let me close that link here and I am going to say here I am going to go to product details. ठीक है, जो पाथ मैंने यहाँ पे मेंशन किया हुआ है. ओके, प्रोडक्ट डिटेल्स. सो कॉपी दिस लिंक. ओके, एंड दिस. ओके, सॉरी इसका 2 चला गया. लेट मी पेस्ट इट. जस्ट होम. ठीक है, so now we have both options here. We have product details. We went to the product details. We'll go back और यहाँ पे ये क्लिक कर सकते हैं. ओके, so ideally what I will do in product details also, I will add a header component. ओके, तो मैं header component यहाँ भी डाल रहा हूँ. ओके, so that is why you will create components so that कि आप इसको अलग अलग pages के अंदर use कर सको. So you have a home page, you go to product details, you have that header again, you will click on logo, you will come back. Okay, so not styling that much, but this should be fine. Okay, so now we have the route set properly. So I'll show you, if time permits, I'll show you how to create menu and all. So let's first focus on how to get the elements and how to create that dynamically. Okay, so for that thing, what you need to use is you need to have a source which will give you some data. Okay, a remotely located source which will give you that data. Okay, so for that I'm going to use JSON placeholder. So this is a website which gives you an API which is remotely hosted and it's free to use. Okay, तो हम क्या करने वाले हैं, we are going to use this data. So let's take posts. ओके, सो इसमें कितने पोस्ट्स है शाबाश? 100. सो लेट्स थिंक कि ये जो इंफॉर्मेशन यहाँ पे मुझे मिल रहा है, दिस इज लेट्स से प्रोडक्ट रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन, प्रोडक्ट का नाम, प्रोडक्ट का डिस्क्रिप्शन, राइट? सो व्हाट आई विल डू, आई विल गो एंड यूज दिस इंफॉर्मेशन. ओके, इसी इंफॉर्मेशन से मैं क्या बिल्ड करूंगा, अपने प्रोडक्ट्स यहाँ पे. ओके, सो लेट्स डू दैट. हाउ विल आई डू दैट? I have to do it here. Okay, in products page. Okay, so what I will do, I will first of all make a modules file. Okay, so I'm going to name that as products list.js. Okay, and a module is going to be a class, javascript का class. Okay, तो इसमें हम क्या करेंगे, इसमें products list create करेंगे. Okay, as a class. Okay, I'm going to use a constructor. Okay, so that I'll create a default variable called this dot products list. Okay, I'll keep product this name as small. Okay, is equal to, let's say this is empty. Fine. So next, what I'm going to do, by default it's empty as soon as object gets created. Okay. Okay, someone is from Nigeria, so wants me to speak in English. So yeah, I'll try to use easy English for those who wants me to hear in Urdu. Okay. So what will we do next is we are going to create a function. So let's say get products list. Okay, so I'll say get products list. Fine. So let's see this. Okay, so this is simple arrow function that I have created. So what I'm going to do, my job is to fetch that data. Okay, so how will you fetch that data? So to fetch this data, you will use something called either ajax or a fetch command. Okay, so that is which will help you to connect with like remote servers. Okay, with the help of an API. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use again a different library, which is very easy and very convenient to use. That's called Axios. Okay, I'm going to use Axios. Okay, so what I will do, I will say Axios. I have Axios now. It's not giving me option to in like, so let me say Axios from Axios. Okay, so this. Okay, so I'm going to say Axios dot get. Okay, I'll pass the URL that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to say dot then. Okay, this is the promise, JavaScript promise that I have added, and here I'm going to get the response. Okay, so response as a variable. Let's see the arrow function. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use again a very advanced concept called callback. Okay, so I'm going to say callback. Callback would be a function that I will use, and I will pass. I'll say, okay, so what I will do, I will say products, or let's say simply say data. I'm creating an object, or usme mein I'm going to pass this. Okay, I'm going to pass response.data. Okay, or before that, let me copy this here, Control X, and I'm going to copy it here. I'm going to say let products list, this object here that I created, is equal to, okay, so that will be equal to this now. Fine. So what did I do? I set it into the current class and I returned it with the help of a callback. Okay, so what is callback? Callback is like a function that I am passing to this function, and then once I call this, it will return to that function. Okay, a function name that I am passing to this. So I'll show you how it is getting used. And next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to export. Again, I need to export. I'll say export default, and I'm going to create the instance of this class immediately. Okay, एक object इसका बनाएंगे, right? क्योंकि class जो है, this is like a blueprint of your objects. Okay, as soon as you use this new keyword, तब जाके आपका एक actual instance create होता है, which means like something gets stored into the memory. Okay, which has this logic and all these data members that you have passed, right? So let's see what happens. So you have product list that gets returned. We have the this function. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this information in products component so that I can view it. Okay, now is the interesting part. अभी मुझे क्या करना है, जितने products आपके वहाँ database में store है, I am going to use it. Okay, I am going to use that whole data and I am going to create these objects dynamically. Instead of doing it manually one by one, मैं ये सब चीजें dynamically create करने वाला हूँ. Okay, so what I am going to do here, मैं यहाँ पे कुछ functions use करूंगा which are called hooks. Okay, तो React क्या करता है, ये आपको कुछ pre-built functions provide करता है. Okay, जो आपको किसी चीज के लिए use होते हैं. Okay, I'll try to explain to the maximum extent, but time does not permit to go in depth. So I'll take it quickly. Okay, so what I will do, I will create some variables which are state variables. Let's say constant. Okay, I'll say products, comma, let's say set product is a function that I need to pass to this, which I will use to set this value. Okay, so set products is equal, I am going to use a hook called a use state. Okay, so that will help me to create a state variable and I'm going to pass a default value and empty array. Okay, next I'm going to use another hook called use effect. Okay, तो use effect क्या करता है, it gets executed whenever your page, yeah, whenever your component loads. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to load this, okay, using an arrow function, and I'm going to pass like when does it get loaded. If I say an empty array, it will get loaded only once. Okay, as soon as the component loads, otherwise it will get loaded every time. And if you pass a variable, whenever a variable change, then it will load only when that variable changes. Okay, so by default we want it to load only when you are only the first time. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use this module. Okay, product list module. So let me go and use it. I'm going to say product list. Yep, here it is, products list dot get product list. Okay, that's going to call Axios. That's going to return me the data. And how will I receive that data? I'll create a function here which will be an arrow function and I'll use that. Okay, so I'll name this function as response. Okay, the parameter that it is receiving as response, and this callback is representing this arrow function. Okay, जब मैं इसको as a argument, if you see as a argument मैंने function को क्या pass किया, and like another function, arrow function, and this function is this callback. When it is going to call, that is actually it is going to call back, it is returning call to this function. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the data, so I'm going to say set products here from what, copy this, I'll say response dot data. Okay, so why data, because that data I have returned from here. Okay, I have named it as data, so that's what I'm receiving, that object, and inside it the data. Okay, so I'm going to use it. Now things are into the products. Okay, there are like all that information that I have collected, that's here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show that I'm going to use JSX capabilities. I'm going to create a map on products. Okay, everything is a product. Okay, and let me create, every single element will get rendered as a product. So I'll create an arrow function for the map and I'm going to return. Okay, so for now, just to make you comfortable with whatever this is that we are doing is working. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to use this product. Okay, so what would be the every product, every single product? Okay, it will be every single element from this API. Okay, और हर एक API में क्या है शाबाश, हर एक element के अंदर क्या है, every element has title, body and ID. Okay, so I'm going to go and use this title. I will say product dot title. For every element I am going to display this title. Okay, so let me print it as li. Okay, so that it will get list, it will get printed as a list. Okay, so let's see if it all works fine or not. So I'm going to say npm start. Okay, yes. Okay, you see all this data gets displayed here. What is this data? This is coming from a remote server, and I am just displaying title right now. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I am going to, okay, so instead of creating this li, I am going to create a component. Okay, so let me quickly show you how to use that component. Okay, so I'll create a component from material UI. Okay, so let's go to the component called cards. Okay, so let me know if you find it. Yep, here is are the cards. Okay, so I'm going to use a card like this. Okay, which looks like this. Okay, let's see the code. You can go and you can copy it. Okay, nothing to worry about, you can use it. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to, okay, I'm not going to, let's say, copy it. I'm going to write it one by one. Okay, either ways you can copy it or you can use it directly. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me just you like create it manually. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, for every single this, okay, I want to create a card. Okay, हर एक product कैसे दिखना चाहिए अभी, it should appear like this. Okay, that's going to, like, that means that information that you are showing in the list items, that is going to appear as cards. Okay, that's going to be interesting, right? So everything will appear as cards, so that will look exactly like how you want your products to be displayed, right? So let's do one thing. Let's create another component here. Okay, so I'll create another component called product, single product. Okay, and inside it I'll create two files. One is index.js, another one is style.css. Okay, if you want to use it, style it. Okay, so I'll say RAFC, which is a shortcut for this. I'm going to say product. Okay, so what I will do, I will mention a property here called props. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use this product. Okay, so it should be product from the components here. Okay, and let's use it. I want to pause this, like I am rendering on these this, right? I'm rendering on the products. I'm going to pass this information. Okay, I want to pass this information to every product. Okay, तो अगर आप देखोगे हम क्या करने जा रहे हैं, we are going to loop through a list. वो जो लिस्ट हमने यहाँ पे फैच किया है, हमने लिस्ट गेट किया वो एपीआई से, और वही लिस्ट के ऊपर आप एक लूप चला रहे हो, सिंपल मैप चला रहे हो, एंड यू आर गोइंग टू पास दिस इंफॉर्मेशन एवरी सिंगल एलिमेंट वन बाय वन टू दिस थिंग. ओके, सो दिस इज योर डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट. ओके, तो उसको जब हम प्रॉप्स पास करेंगे, मैं बोलूंगा प्रोडक्ट इक्वल टू प्रोडक्ट. ओके, सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी माई props name, and this is the actual value जो यहाँ से आ रहा है. And now let's go here. I'm going to say props, and here just for the test, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say props dot product. Okay, and now let's see if it works. Okay, so far anything broke. Let's go to products, home. Okay, so this is product, props dot product. Okay, so let's see. Z, we have exported this, imported this properly. Yep, that should be fine. Product and props. So let me see whether it gets displayed here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, okay, sorry, मैंने यहाँ पे props लिखा है, props dot product लिखना पड़ेगा. Okay, and I will say dot title. उसके अंदर you cannot display whole object, you have to display one of these attributes from that. Okay, everything gets displayed. Okay, तो अभी क्या करेंगे, अभी now let's play with this. Okay, so instead of saying div, I'll add a class. I'll say class name. Okay, इसको यहाँ पे आप एक क्लास नेम प्रोवाइड करो कॉल्ड कार्ड. ओके, तो और आई विल से प्रोडक्ट कार्ड. अभी यहाँ पे शाबाश, व्हाट आर वी गोइंग टू डू, वी आर गोइंग टू यूज कार्ड फ्रॉम मटेरियल यूआई. ओके, जो कि इंपोर्ट नहीं हो रहा है. सो लेट मी इंपोर्ट इट मैन्युअली. So for that, I am going to use this. Okay, I'm going to use card. Let me copy till here. Okay, I'm going to copy all these things. So let me copy it here. Let's use card, and in card I'm going to use some properties. I'm going to use, let me copy it, so that we'll quick it. So this is a card media that I'm going to use for showing an image. Okay, and here I'm going to use an image. Okay, तो एक image use करने वाले हैं, that is supposed to be like, again for an image you need to have a different source. Okay, आपको वहां से वो लेना पड़ेगा, और maybe it needs to be stored here. Okay, तो मेरे पास अभी ये image है, let me use it. I'll say logo 512.png. Okay, उसके बाद I am going to use card content. Fine, तो card content को use कर लेते हैं यहाँ पे. Okay, instead of typography, let me use something like this. Okay, so I'm going to use list item text. Okay, so let me import it. Okay, so let me import it. Card header हमने skip कर दिया. Let me use this. Okay, so I'm going to pass the text here. Okay, I'm going to use two properties, primary और secondary. दो टेक्स्ट मैं इसको पास करने वाला हूँ. एक में हम ये जो props डॉट प्रोडक्ट हमें मिलने वाला है उसका हम props डॉट प्रोडक्ट, ओके, डॉट टाइटल, ओके, वो डिस्प्ले करेंगे. एंड दूसरे में हम props डॉट प्रोडक्ट डॉट बॉडी, ओके, ये यहां पे डिस्प्ले करेंगे. फाइन, सो नाउ, ओके, सो नाउ व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू, आई विल ऐड सम स्टाइल हियर. ओके, तो इसको मैं स्टाइल कहां पे ऐड करूंगा, ये यहाँ पे. ओके, सो लेट मी एड इट इनटू द styles file, and I am going to say simple display flex so that कि ये horizontally दिखे, and I'll say flex wrap equal to wrap so that कि it will appear into the new lines. Okay, or let's add some gap. Okay, let's say 10 pixel. Let's add some margin also. Okay, so I'll say, or let me add just margin top. That's just for styling. Okay, so I'll say 30 pixel. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm adding this to this one. Okay, okay, I think this is not the right place to add this display flex, because it should have been added here. All these elements will get rendered ना, तो मैं यहाँ पे इसको यहाँ पे render कर रहा हूँ. Okay, I'm going to add a div here, and I'm going to add class name equal to product cards. Okay, I'm going to change it. Let me copy this and paste this. Okay, because display flex applies on inner elements. Okay, तो इसके अंदर क्या है, एक ही कार्ड है, there are not more than one element, तो display flex का कुछ नहीं करेगा. So let me, instead of doing it here, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to use it here. This is product. Okay, तो इसके लिए भी folder जब create किया, so we created a folder just for adding styles. Okay, so that it will have its own style. We'll paste this. This is cards, and I'm going to use this. Okay, so let's use it here. I'm going to say import shabash dot slash stylus dot css. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, so what did we do, हमने लिस्ट लिया, लिस्ट को मैप किया, प्रोडक्ट कंपोनेंट उसके अंदर डिस्प्ले किया, प्रोडक्ट के अंदर हमने कार्ड क्रिएट किया है. ओके, सो वी हैव एडेड एन इमेज. So for this you can add your own custom css, whatever you want, and yeah, then we are showing the text, title and body. Okay, so let's see what happens. So let's go to this. Okay, यहाँ पे you are seeing, but it's not good. Okay, why? Because we have not added style for the media image. Okay, so we should ideally add the style for this. So we'll say, so we'll add some properties. So first we will say, for card we will say what is the maximum width. So I'll say max width, it takes it as a property. Let's say that is equivalent to, just a second. Okay, so let's say that this is something, that property it takes for small screen, large screen. So I'll say max width. Okay. So let's say that's equal to, let's say 300 pixel. Okay. So that is the maximum width it is going to do take. And for this, you can add style, maybe like, let's say we will add a style. Let's add it inline style. So I'll say object width. Okay. Colon contained. Okay. Contain. So what will happen? Yep. You see? Okay. So now you are getting your products displayed and depends upon the image. Now you have to fetch the image. Okay. So let me show you a shortcut to get fetch the image. So what you will use maybe just to like just for test. Otherwise, it should be a actual source, right? So there is a URL called unsplash. Okay. Source random unsplash. So I'm going to use this URL. Okay. Source. Yep. This is the URL that I'm going to use for image. Instead of doing this, let me do this. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass it like this. Okay. This, and here, let me also pass some one more number. I'll say, okay. So maybe some of you will know why I'm doing this. So just to make sure that our browser does not cache the images. Okay. So depend upon every millisecond that is changing, you will get a different image. So let's hope this works. Okay, so let's go here, refresh. Yep. Now let's see. Okay, how does it look? So now you have added your products in the form of cards. You can do some more adjustments to place it properly. So I'm going to add some more things here. Okay, I'm going to add something called card actions. Okay, so I'm going to add card actions here. So in card actions, yep, it is implemented already. Let me use something called a button. Okay, so I'm going to use button. Okay, and this is the last point I want to show you. So we'll see. We will keep the product details. Okay, so इसमें हम button में क्या करेंगे? I am going to say view. Okay, in button I want to say view. Okay, so let me import button first of all. So I'll say, yeah, button. Okay, so I'm going to import the button and you will see view button here. Okay, so on this click you saw like we changed the URL with the help of link. Okay, what I want to show you now, on click of button, if you want to change it, okay, and if you want to send some information to new page, how will you do that? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to define an on click. Okay, is equal to E, and then let's say view product. Okay, so that would be your view product details. And here I'm going to pass some information. So I'm going to say props dot product dot ID. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me create this function here. Okay, so I'll say view product. Okay, so it's going to take an ID, take that ID, and then use another hook called, let's say I'll use navigate. Okay, so for navigate, I'll use a hook called use navigate. What happened? Okay. So let me use it like this. I'll say react dot use navigate. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, on click of this every single page, I'm going to call this new navigate and I'm going to give the URL. Okay. So I'm going to say I'm going to call this product slash details page. Okay, as soon as you click on view, I want to go to that page. Okay, so what I will do, I can also pass some information here. Okay, मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि मुझे कुछ और information, like when as soon as I click on view button, I want to pass that ID so that my product details page will know which product do I want to display. Okay, तो यहाँ पे हम क्या करेंगे, we'll pass product ID. Okay, equal to this ID that we have passed here. Okay, So let's see if it works. It will go to product details page with this ID. Okay. So let's go to home page, refresh. Something broke. Okay, let's see. So I'll use inspect. Debugging is what you actually use. Navigate is not a function. So what is it navigator? Let me confirm just a second. So it's use navigate, actually use navigate from, okay, sorry, my bad. This is coming from router DOM. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to say import use this from React router DOM. Okay, not from React. Okay, so this is going to help me to navigate. Let me refresh, click, and let's click on this. I go to the product page, product details page. Now what do I want to do? Okay, I want to pick that product's ID which I have passed, and I want to take that to display the information. Okay, so that would be interesting, right? What do you want to do? You want to show this. Okay, so let me show you quickly. So what do we do is go to product details page. Okay, here I'm going to write use effect. Okay, so let's say use effect. Okay, an arrow function. Okay, and it should be called only once. Okay, and let's say I want to create a state variable. Let's say product. Fine. So I'm going to say shabash set product. Okay, so that's equal to use state. Okay, creating a state variable which is by default empty. Okay, so what I'm going to do now in use effect, I do have that product ID. How will I get that? I'll say product ID. Okay, I will get that with the help of location. Okay, so there is something called a location that will give me this information here. Okay, so I'm going to say location dot state. It will give you complete information. It will give you that URL. It will give you path. And here I'm going to say product ID. Okay, because with state I had actually passed it from here, right? यहाँ से मैंने वो pass किया था, right? From the products page. Okay, no, from this. Yeah, I am passing state and I am passing product ID. That is what I am receiving here. Okay, so I'm getting the product ID. Now my job is to fetch data with the help of this product ID. Okay, so let's fetch this data. So for this location also, let's use another hook that will be called use location. That will again come from router DOM. Okay, so you are supposed to use two hooks, use navigate and use location. So I'll say let location is equal to use location. Okay, so we need to import it manually. So I'll say import use location from React router DOM. Okay, so now you get this location also. So what I will do, I will say React, sorry, I'll say that module that we had created. Okay, I'll say product details, product list dot get product by. So I do not want to get the whole list. I want to get a particular product, right? So what I will do, I'll say get product by ID. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass this product here. Okay, in response it is going to me, I'm going to pass a function. In response it is going to me send me that one single product information. Okay, response. Okay, so I'm going to take that and set it to product. Okay, so I'm going to say this is the information that I wanted. So I'll say response dot data. Okay, so what I have to do next is to create this function. Okay, तो ये function हम कहाँ बनाएंगे, यहाँ पे. So I'll say get product. Okay, so it gives me an ID, and here now I will not actually fetch the data again. Okay, because I have fetched it, I have stored it into this object. And here you can also play some trick. You can store your data into the local storage, or if you want to cache it for a while, so you will use that. Okay, so what I will do, I will check if this is valid. If it has some information, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to say this dot product list dot find. Okay, so let me find that product whose id is equal to the id that I have provided. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to call back. Okay, call back a function here, and I'm going to say, okay, your data is this now. Okay, so let me say let product is equal single product that I want to fetch, that will be reached here. Okay, so now what we will do, we will go and we will show that product here. Okay, in product details I received that, and I'm going to show it here. Okay, so for that, let me do one thing. Let me again use a card. Okay, I'm going to again use the product for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me reuse the product. I'll say product is equal to product. Okay, then you will see यहाँ पे मुझे actually I have to create this view. Okay, but to quick it, like just to see, making sure that product is getting displayed, we will show that previous card जो वो card वहाँ पे दिखा रहा है. Okay, so let's see if it works. So let's click here. Okay, so let's go to the home page. Okay, I have these image here, and as soon as I click, remember this. Okay, remember this text here. I click on view. Okay, so let's see, it's giving me some error, so I can debug it. Let me see, let me debug this. Okay, so correct details. Okay, so this is the file. Let's see if we get the right information, then we are good. Okay, if not, then that's a problem. So let's see, first of all, we got the product ID. Did we get it? Let's refresh again. Did we get the product ID? Yep, we got the product ID. We say what's the product ID? This is the product ID, and let's say get product by ID. Okay, so let's go inside it. So I'll go to that function. Okay, so here, okay, so it says, do we have the data? No, we do not have the data. So what am I supposed to do? Maybe like I did some refresh and all, that is why your product, this product list will run. Okay, it will get vanished at the runtime. So that's the reason that you have to store it into the local storage and fetch it from the local storage. Or other way, you will actually, if it is not there, then else do one thing, call this. Okay, call this again, and whatever the response you get, okay, whatever the response you get into the callback, use that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, let me use this information, I'm going to call it again. So that's like a fallback logic. Okay, so if you did not get it from the in memory object, so you are going to, and another option is to store it in the local storage and get it. Okay, so I'll say this dot, not let. Okay, yep, this should have been this. Okay, so that's bad. Okay, I am supposed to store it here only. So product list, it says product list not valid. Wire this. Yep, all good. Line number 11. Yep, this dot product list. Okay, so now let's continue refresh. Okay, so let's go to this. Okay, so let me click on one. It takes me here. It gives me product ID 4. It goes to this list, and it's going to be return me the data. So that data is actually, you see the title, you see the body. Now I am going to show it into the card. Okay, so yep, you see it gets appeared here, right? तो आपको प्रोडक्ट डिटेल्स पेज पे वो सिंगल प्रोडक्ट का डिटेल्स दिख रहा है. Okay, So let's do one thing. So I'll see, like, because we have already exceeded 30 minutes and I don't want to exceed it. But here you see the functionality will work fine. So you have list of products and you can see a particular product in the product details. You'll go back, go to any product, let's say event. Okay, so remember this, go to this. You should see that data. Okay, so it's that ID is getting played around. We need to check that. Okay, but yeah, so this is how you will transfer information. Okay, so you learned how to transfer information via location, using use location and use navigate, and how to link between two URLs, how to fetch the data dynamically using Axios, and how to display it. Okay, so here if you see we have displayed 100 products. Okay, and it happens at a glance. Every time you refresh, you see these products getting displayed immediately. Okay, and you can add more concepts like lazy loading and everything. Okay, so now uh, I think I'll continue with the further implementation maybe in the next part of the this, or maybe like once you join us. So let me quickly give you, like, there was a much awaited, like, kind of that big surprise that I want to give you guys. So I'll give you that right now. Okay, and I hope you got the maximum value. uh, did you get the basic, like how to create objects, how to connect, and how to create routes and all? Did you get that? Can you guys respond? Yeah, so that looks good. So I hope it was helpful to everyone. Certainly, like, it's a very high level view. Every single concept cannot be covered 100%. But yeah, I tried my best, like whatever was possible in like 30 minutes, like one, and I think 2 hours that we spent, or more than that. So let me see, let me give you the final closure. Okay, so so what does Marvel Mind is going to help you? Okay, so apart from like the boot camp, and now you see like there are a lot of gaps. Okay, so you need to learn what is React, what is, even before that, what is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and seeing more, like having that confidence to build these applications at the runtime. Okay, so to build things with these technologies and skills that you have learned. So Marvel Minds is actually specializing in providing these trainings on the technical side for full stack, back end, front end, mon stack, and on the non-technical side for HR lead generation. So our aim is to get you trained from the direct professionals. Okay. So what we do, we have a very special program in Marvel Minds where we are doing extensive trainings with these professional developers and other, I will say, other designated professionals. So they will train you based upon the skills that they have, the experience they have. We are going to conduct like these hybrid mode training, which is like having 5 days of online sessions. And for every weekend, we are going to have more live workshops like this. Okay. So, but on those workshops, you are supposed to work on the problems yourself, but we will be helping you one on one. Our developers will be working with you pair programming sessions, and then they will be helping and unblocking you on every blocker or the problem that you are facing. Apart from that, Marvel Points also provides the consultation program. So the in the consultation, we are providing 100% guarantee. Once you, like, for the job placements, once you finish the training, these specialized skills or the certifications that you do with us. So we are tied up with multiple companies across the nation who are looking for the resources like you and who are trained into these skills. So you will get direct job opportunities. We will help you with interviews, resume optimization. We have a very senior recruiter, Chief Recruitment Officer Saeed Abdul Basit, having 6+ years of experience into recruitment. Okay, so he's going to help you directly. So if you see from our last 3-4 years, we have trained more than 300 students. Out of them, these are the, like, top ones who have been able to acquire their dream jobs immediately after finishing the training with us. So Shahid Hussain getting 12 lakh package. Ariba Mir got 10 lakh package. Okay, so then more like 6.5, 11 more. So these are our alumni. Certainly, I would love if you would connect with them, talk to them, get their feedback, and then be ready to join our program. Okay. Then we have clientele based across the nation in Hyderabad, in Chennai, in Pune, in Bangalore, in Gurgaon. So who are directly looking for such trained skills and such trained developers. Okay, so who have training in these technologies that are actually very common and very widely used in the industry, so that they could hire you. Okay, so you need to work on that. You need to learn all these things to build from end to end, not just like syntax as a 30 minutes say. I'm sure like it give you a brief idea, but certainly there is much more depth that you need to actually take, right? And then yeah, the lucky big surprise that I have is that we are going to start our next batch on 7th of January 2021, and we are going to give a 50% off. Okay, for courses like these, if you go to companies like Simply Learn, Upgrade and all, they are going to cost you in lakhs. Okay, so but here we had a basic fee of 10,000 rupees. But for today, who are going to register and connect with our team today with the code like Bootcamp 141 today and tomorrow, so they are going to get 5,000 discount. Okay, immediate discount, and then 5,000 you have to pay. That is for the whole full stack role, full stack training, which will be covering JavaScript, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, advanced JavaScript, React.js framework. That would be for the front end side, and for the back end, we'll be taking up core Java and advanced Java and Spring Boot. And then we'll be doing a project as well. Like for over 10 days, you'll be getting direct mentorship to work on the projects and build the applications into that. For backend, it will be Java, and it will be advanced Java and Spring Boot. Okay, Spring Boot, Spring Data, Spring Security. So that will be all covered. Java is important because like it is going to give you that the basic fundamental concepts are going to get cleared. The implementation wise, you are going to read that very well, understand that. Yep. So that's all. Node.js, yeah, we do have a program for that. So for those who want to go for the MERN stack role, so we'll be doing Node.js. Okay. So yeah, you could join for the MERN as well, right? Where we will again start from front end first, that is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, and then we'll be taking up Node and Express and MongoDB. MongoDB, yes, in MERN. Yep. So yeah, so that's all I have to give today. I hope you got the maximum value. So those who will register will let us will get the direct access to the code that I have been implementing, and that what application we have already built. You will also get a chance like once you finish your training. So for some dedicated and highly qualified candidates, they will get opportunities for internship, software development training program. So into software development training program, we are going to give you a direct opportunity to work on the live projects with the team. Okay, so that's a 100% opportunity. And for those who are here in Srinagar, believe me, like this is a 200% very good opportunity for you guys, rather than going like or to the other states and all. So you get that all that expo like experience and platform here, inshallah. Mostly for you guys. Yep. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Okay, I'll be here for like questions. You can reach out to our connections. Okay, so this is the numbers that you can reach out. You are already added in the group that will be open for a day or so, so you could connect with the admin directly. So reach out to this contact to get yourself registered ASAP so that you can benefit these 5,000 rupees for the discount. Yeah. Classes are going to be online and offline. So that means that there will be like every weekday, there will be classes which are offline, sorry, online, because they will be conducted by the working developers. Okay. So who are into the job. So I want you guys to have that experience, first hand experience, to learn from someone who is building applications into this technology. Okay. So to learn from them directly. So it will be classes either in the morning 8 a.m. or evening 8 p.m. And then there will be workshop. So that will be offline. By offline, I mean to say you will be coming to the office for 2-3 hours. If maybe you are not available to connect like to commute, so you could join online, but making sure you are live, having your videos and screen sharing and everything, so that we can like we can make it more real, right? So there will be workshops will be offline every weekend, Saturday or Sunday for 2-3 hours, and for every week you will have online classes. The whole program is going to be for 3 months, full stack development. If we only go into back end, not front end, is there? Yeah, certainly you can go and register. So even for 5,000, the discount that we are providing, you can opt paying half of it, half for front end first and then half for the back end. Okay. So no compulsions there. So you can go for it. So for further placement guidance, believe me, we are short of the candidates. So companies are in touch, they are looking for, but you need to have that skill set. You need to have that confidence that you can build. Like we can give you that opportunity to go for an interview, but you should be ready to present yourself, right? With that skill set. So that's what you need to go for first. Certainly go for front end only. So that will be half of 5,000. Again, full stack further breaking down to two halves. I'm not sure that what exactly the amount would be, but you can go for the front end first. And if you like to continue, then you will go for the back end. Okay. Both things are important. Believe me, nowadays you need to be a polyglot, right? Learning, having expertise on more than one language. That is important. Yes. Any further questions? So more full stack. I'll say full stack gives you 100% bandwidth, right? When a like candidate company looks for a candidate, if it is full stack, that's a lottery for them. So there also what you can do, like if you are familiar with both, but you are more inclined to, let's say, either on front end or back end. But if you have familiarity with other technologies on the front end side or on the back end side, certainly it's not that a company would work only on the front end or on the back end, right? They will certainly, if they have to build an app, they have to work on both ends. Okay. Demand is for both, but as a full stack, you are opening your doors 200 times. Okay. So you are eligible for both things, and certainly based upon the opportunity, you will pick up one of the fields. Okay. And make sure like you have that open mind that you will pick up any technology, because technology and syntax doesn't matter. It is the delivery, it is the development that actually matters. Okay. So where you have to deliver, that's our goal. Included in front end. So we'll start from very scratch. So like for those who do not have like expertise on programming and all, so they could also join. Or even there are people who are from non-technical background, they have joined our programs. So we'll be picking up from very basics, HTML, CSS, basic JavaScript, advanced JavaScript, and then React JS. Okay, that will get covered roughly in 45 days, along with the project that we will build. What is the difference between MERN and full stack? MERN stack is a full stack developer, but in MERN, you learn only one technology, right? You learn only JavaScript. You learn only one language. But on full stack, you learn front end and back end, like which is Java. Java is a object oriented. Like at the start, if you would remember, I told you about what are the limitations of Node. They are generally used for basic real-time small scale applications. If you see the applications that are out there on the world and the enterprise softwares that are there, they need multi-threading, right? So they are usually getting developed with Java and more like C, so like .NET Core and Python and all. Okay, and there are a lot of fundamental concepts. So if you pick that with the help of Java, like what are object-oriented concepts and all, believe me, so you will never get stuck with the language. You'll be open to it. Would be just a syntax difference, जैसे कहा जाता है, right? Switching from one language to another uh, is just a syntax difference. But that is only true if you understand the fundamentals. So that's why Java is good to go for. उसके बाद अब कभी भी like see React is such और JavaScript is a very very dynamic thing. Okay, आप फ्रंट एंड पे यूज करो, बैक एंड पे, नोड पे आप कभी भी जा सकते हो. Okay, but for a start I would say Java is 100% what you should go for. Okay, for a starter, for a fresher, because once you get a grasp on the fundamentals of a language, so you could pick any language, right? That computer theory is common, right? Computer science theory, so you will get most of these object oriented concepts, how to implement, how to use that, data structures that we are going to read with the help of collection frameworks in Java. So that's going to set a very very solid base. Okay, let's stop here, guys. So for any further queries, questions, reach out to the contacts, drop us this message on the chat. We'll be happy to reply, and expecting everyone to join the course immediately, right? Thank you so much. Best of luck. Assalamu alaikum.